2 on Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM. Nobody in Kansas City has sports like 96.5 The Fan.
Right side throw, touchdown! Kansas City, a 3-yard touchdown pass in overtime. Kansas City wins the game.
Welcome into The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
Back-to-back best sports talk hosts as voted on in the Pitch magazine.
Live from the Fan Studios, here's CDOT.
I'm coming in a little upset today. I'm a little angry. I want to tell you guys why. Today, Pitch Magazine named their best of 2025. They had a category for best sports talk hosts. Now, on one side, I am very, very happy that we kept it in the family. Congratulations to Bob Fesco for being named the best sports talk host in the city. But why I'm coming in a little peeved, a little miffed, is because we should have won. Now, I'm not blaming you, even though this was a people's vote. If more people had got on their computer or told one other person to listen to the show, maybe we would have won. You know what? I am blaming Rob. That's whose fault this is. I'm blaming Robert Brenton for this. All of that Darren Peterson is the next Kobe conversation, that's what's turned off the people. It wasn't my fault. I'm here doing everything I can to give you guys the best quality product every single day. And Rob takes it upon himself to sabotage my hard work every single day. So, Rob, the reason we lost this award, the reason why I wasn't named Best Sports Talk Host, that is not a me problem. That's a you problem. You got to start producing more. That's how we're kicking today's show off. You got to start producing.
You really think it's the Darren Peterson thing?
100%. I think it's the Darren Peterson. I think we were in the lead, and then you came on here and said that Darren Peterson is the next Kobe Bryant, and I think that's shifted the votes toward Bob Fesco.
Because I have a tweet here from highly respected radio talk show host Doug Gottlieb and part-time basketball coach, and he tweets out last night, quoting here about Darren Peterson, closest thing to Kobe I've seen, kid is awesome. So if Doug Gottlieb, who is creme de la creme when it comes to radio hosts, not as a college basketball coach, but as a radio host, Doug Gottlieb, he racks in awards. He called him Kobe. So you know what? I'm just following the best of the best. Bill Simmons, Doug Gottlieb, they're the ones saying Kobe. For some reason, you're fighting an uphill battle. You're pushing against the current. Maybe if you called him the next LeBron, we would have beaten Bob Fesco.
You know what? Maybe that's my fault. We'll find out on Friday if the Kansas Jayhawks have Kobe Bryant or not on their team. We appreciate you listening. Let's do this. Another day, another dollar. You're listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com. You got a lot planned in today's show. I would usually give you a spiel at the very beginning of the show. We've already taken enough of your time. Let's get right to it. I would say that for the next hour, we are on Breece Hall watch. We are on Breece Hall watch because clearly the New York Jets are open for business. If you missed it earlier today, the New York Jets traded Sauce Gardner. He is now the newest member of the Indianapolis Colts. You'll get a chance to see Sauce Gardner coming up in a couple of weeks at Arrowhead Stadium. They have also traded Quinnen Williams. The Jets have traded Quinnen Williams to the Dallas Cowboys. You'll also get a chance to see Quinnen Williams against the Kansas City Chiefs. You'll see that on Thanksgiving. So the Jets are clearly open for business. And if you got the right draft pick compensation, you can come in there, and they are having a fire sale right now. Now, Breece Hall is, I would say, the number one name that's left that is potentially available. It is being reported by Jordan Schultz, who told Rob he was coming on the show and then stopped replying to our messages today. Jordan Schultz is reporting that Breece Hall has officially told the front office that he wants a trade. So Breece Hall doesn't want to be there. I'm guessing a lot of you want Breece Hall to be the newest member of the Kansas City Chiefs. So we wait. We got, 55 minutes left until this is concluded? So we wait. We know the Jets are sellers. Are the Chiefs potentially buyers? That is what we are trying to figure out at the trade deadline. Let's at least start with this because I think this is really important. I'm fine if the Chiefs don't make a move. Now, if they go get Breece Hall, I'm going to be excited. I have been banging the drum for the Chiefs to go get a running back. If they go get a very productive 24-year-old running back and they're willing to trade a third-round pick to go get him and they're extending him long-term as a legitimate weapon for Patrick Mahomes, you will not hear me upset. But I don't think going to get Breece Hall is in line with what the Chiefs have done so far this season. Remove how I feel about running back. Let's just go by the facts. Heading into free agency, the Chiefs only had Isaiah Pacheco under contract. They had one of their current running backs. They had a chance to go get another running back. They brought back Kareem Hunt, which has turned out to be a good move. They had a chance in free agency to go make another move. They brought in Elijah Mitchell. They spent $1.2 million on Elijah Mitchell in a draft class that a lot of people liked the running back options. They waited until the 7th round to go get a running back in Brashard Smith, and he hasn't really been involved in the rushing portion. They've used him in the passing portion, but they haven't really given him a lot of carries or opportunities to be a dynamic running back in terms of giving him carries. So I don't know how the Chiefs go from that over the last 7-8 months or so to now they're willing to trade a third-round pick and add a contract to Breece Hall. That just doesn't add up to me. That's just not in line with what they do. I don't think the Chiefs are making a running back move. If anything, the Chiefs need to be more invested in trying to figure out what they have with Brashard Smith. They haven't done that yet in terms of giving him carries. Now, let's talk about the other position. Rob, I'm imagining this is how you feel. You want the Chiefs to go out and make a move on the defensive line. Well, I'm here to tell you, if the Chiefs aren't willing to trade a significant draft pick and compensation and go get a defensive lineman, then this is the defensive line that they got. If you're not willing to trade a third-round pick, and you obviously weren't willing to do that with Jalen Phillips, you and I agree, way too rich for the Chiefs' blood, way too rich for anybody's blood, at least it should have been. I wouldn't have given Jalen Phillips a third-round pick. If the Chiefs aren't willing to bring real compensation to the dance, then you're not leaving with anything. Look at today in the National Football League and how much it is for the players that you know. Think about how much it is for the players who would get you to go buy their jersey. You would go buy a Breece Hall jersey. You could buy a Quinnen Williams jersey. Look at how much it costs to go get those guys. A Sauce Gardner, a Quinnen Williams, a legitimate game-changing or potential game-changing player. Does anybody think that's what the Chiefs are about to do here in the next 50 minutes? Maybe I'll end up being wrong. Maybe the Chiefs will put some compensation. That's just not been in line with how they've moved, not this offseason, not really any offseason. That's just not what they do. So I don't think they're making a move today. At least not one of those big-time moves. If the Chiefs end up trading a 6th-round pick or doing a pick swap or doing something like that, it would not surprise me in the least. But in fact, that's what I think they're going to do. But if the Chiefs decide to stand pat and they feel confident enough in their roster, I'm not here to tell them that they're wrong. And this is what I believe the Chiefs feel. This is what I think the Chiefs feel. I think the Chiefs look at Josh Simmons as being their trade deadline move. They haven't had Josh Simmons in a month. It's like an injury. It's like a suspension. I know that's not what happened, but if you are just randomly gone for a period of time, it's like an injury. It's like a suspension. It has the same effect on Sundays as those things. They're getting him back for the Broncos game. He's back at the facility. He's back in town. He's working out. He's meeting with coaches. He's doing what he needs to during this bye week. I believe that he is going to play. So the Chiefs are getting an upgrade at left tackle over the next 14 days. They also just got back their number 1 wide receiver 2 weeks ago for this team. Literally 2 weeks ago, they just got their number 1 wide receiver back. I think that's the Chiefs looking at what their moves are. They brought back Rashee Rice. They brought back Josh Simmons. They just went out and got Mike Pennell back. We've been throwing out the name Colin Saunders. If you really wanted Colin Saunders, I don't know why it's taken you this long to go get him unless you actually don't really want Colin Saunders. I kind of think this is it. I don't think that's the worst thing for the Chiefs. I think a lot of people want the Chiefs to spend money for the sake of spending money. You know how you tell a kid when you give him $5, $10, don't let that money burn a hole in your pocket? I think that's how we're treating draft picks right now with the deadline. Oh, well, look at this team. Look at this team. Who do you want them to get? Who is available for them to go get? What makes sense? What is in line with their financial track record? I don't think that move is out there. Last year, I thought it was pretty clear. Their check engine light was flashing at wide receiver. They had to go do something at wide receiver. I don't think they're nearly in that position this year. Not at running back, and I know that sounds strange coming from me. I don't think they were at the same place at running back that they were last year at wide receiver. I don't think they're at the same place at defensive line as they were at wide receiver. I think they got all the pieces they need on the defensive line. Those guys just need to play better. Chris Jones needs to play better. George Karlaftis needs to play better. Charles Omenihu, Derek Nottie, Mike Pinnell, you know the names. Those guys just got to play better. But I don't think you bringing in a 6th or 7th round pick, I don't know if that really moves the needle for me. It doesn't for me at defensive line. So we got, 50 minutes between now and the deadline? The deadline is coming up at the top of the hour. Maybe this is me just preparing you for possible disappointment. I'm just not getting my hopes up about the Chiefs being major players at the deadline. I don't think they're going to be major players. I don't think the Chiefs are willing to spend the prices for what it costs to go be a major player in this thing. If they were, they would have got Jalen Phillips yesterday. We have heard zero smoke about Calais Campbell. What reason do we have to believe that he is going to be traded? Or if the Chiefs do make a move, I just think it's going to be for a 6th or a 7th round pick. I think it's going to be one of those kind of moves. So I think this is the team. I think the team that they have right now is good enough to win and go to another Super Bowl. You got to get your left tackle back. You got your number 1 wide receiver back. You need more production from your defensive line. You need more of a commitment to running the football. I think the Chiefs have all the pieces they need to be the best team in the AFC and to go to and win another Super Bowl. You just got to get more out of the pieces that you already have. We can read your text on the other side, 913-586-7965. If you guys want to call in, you can use that number as well. We are all waiting to see what's going to happen for the Chiefs at the deadline. There have been moves left and right around the National Football League. Speaking of moves coming up, I'll give you my thoughts on what the Colts just did to go get Sauce Gardner. That's coming up. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Gear? Check. Snacks? Check. Tires? Not so much. I didn't have time to deal with this, so I asked my friend. Her answer was simple. Take it to Telly, she said, and I'm so glad I did. They didn't just take care of my tires, they took care of me. We got you, they said, and they did. Fast, friendly, and stress-free. Now I know when life throws you a red card, take it to Telly. Stay in the game. Take it to Telly.
Whether you're digging a pond, clearing brush, grading land, or doing demo, Foley Equipment, your Caterpillar dealer, is your one-stop shop. Buy or rent, Foley has the machines to get it done. Lease the Cat 255 compact track loader for just $8.99 a month and take advantage of other limited-time demo and purchase incentives. Terms and conditions apply. Visit your Foley Equipment location or go to FoleyEQ.com. That's FoleyEQ.com.
Get ready, Missouri. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, is coming soon. Starting on December 1st, new customers in Missouri can get up to $300 in bonus bets when you make your first $5 bet. From touchdowns to three-pointers, with FanDuel, any play can be the play of the game. With live betting, you can even get in on the action after the game has already started. All on an app that's safe, secure, and easy to use. Visit FanDuel.com/Missouri to learn more. And you'll be all set to bet when FanDuel goes live in Missouri on December 1st. That's FanDuel.com/Missouri. Play your game of FanDuel, the #1 rated sportsbook app. Must be 21 and present in Missouri. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Offer starts 12/1/25. Excludes customers who redeem pre-launch sign-up offer. Bonus issue is non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG.
Men, if the long lines to the bathroom have been holding you back from attending sporting events and you're waking up in the middle of the night dealing with frequent urination, it could be an enlarged prostate. Jeff Montgomery here to talk about the minimally invasive procedure I had that made a big difference. I went to Dr. Brown at Miva Medical, the leader in minimally invasive treatments in Kansas City. The procedure was quick and easy, and I'm very happy with the result. Don't put up with being uncomfortable. Contact Miva Medical. That's MIVA-medical.com.
It's about time pros had one partner for every part of the job. Simple ordering, fast delivery, continuous support, all from one partner. The Home Depot delivers supplies on your schedule. Our pro team helps you plan ahead so projects run smoother. And with Pro Extra benefits, you can simplify ordering, track spending, and save time every step of the way. Because with one partner, you get more than materials, you keep your job moving. The Home Depot Pro. It's about time.
Every morning, we rise and shine, make breakfast, and brush away the night's rest. These routines help us start the day off right. Nature-Made vitamins are a simple step in that daily care regimen. Multivitamins with daily essentials, clinically studied probiotics for gut health support, magnesium to help relax the body. Nature-Made is made to care for you every day. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Hey everyone, I'm Josh Radner, and I am so excited to tell you about How We Made Your Mother, a rewatch podcast looking back at How I Met Your Mother. And I'm here with Craig Thomas, who co-created the show along with Carter Bays. Hi, Craig.
Hey, Josh. Somehow it has been 20 years since the show premiered. I'm going to check the math on that. 10 years since it went off the air, and we thought that made this a perfect time to look back, see what the hell we did, and why the show still seems to resonate with fans around the world today.
Follow and listen to How We Made Your Mother wherever you get your podcast.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, so this is how we began today's show. Today, the Pitch Magazine, they do their Best of Kansas City 2025. And they have a category for Best Sports Talk Host. Now, I've won this a couple of times. I've come in second a couple of times. I don't really care that much about it, but it is nice to win. It is nice to be recognized. I believe that we should have won this year. I think that Rob is the reason why we lost. I think that Rob's love of Darren Peterson is what did us in. We were probably trending in a right direction, and then Rob had to make some silly suggestions, and I think that took us out of the running for the money. Now, the text line is saying that this is my fault. The text line is saying my endorsement of Red Lobster is what caused us to lose. If that's the case, I'm a proud loser. If you're telling me that my love of the endless shrimp and that my love of the Cheddar Bay biscuits and my support of the best restaurant that America has to offer, if you think that's the reason why we lost this contest, okay. That's a price that I'm willing to pay to spread the gospel. That's a price that I'm willing to pay to spread the message. That's what I'm telling you. So if that's how you feel, that's perfectly fine. But this show is always going to stand on principles. And a couple of those principles are Dippin' Dots are incredible, Red Lobster is the best restaurant that America has to offer, and baked beans are trash. Those are foundational principles of this show. And those principles, they are unwavering, they are unchanging on this show. Somebody said, C-Dot, I think it was Specs Takes on Wings last week. You know what? Why don't we blame Spec? It's not my fault, Rob. It's not your fault. It's management's fault. That's who it is. It's management.
We weren't given the tools to succeed.
Not at all. We haven't been given the resources.
He goes on there and gives elite takes. He comes on here and says boneless wings are fantastic. How are we supposed to overcome that hurdle? No matter how much Darren Peterson content we give the city, we can't overcome that wing take.
No, 100%. That's fair. I want to read this text really quickly before we get to the Sauce Gardner trade. Someone just texted in. C-Dot, I don't think that this team can sustain a deep playoff run. Their offensive line is getting beat up. They're one injury away from having the worst running back room in the league, and they can't get pressure without blitzing. C-Dot, they lost to every playoff team they've played so far. Not true. They did beat the Lions, but that's okay. Why are you so content with this 5-4 team? I'm here telling you, if you don't think the Chiefs have enough at 2:20, 40 minutes before the deadline, there is not a single move that is going to give them enough. I say this all the time. There are some things that are March and April problems. You can't fix all of them in early November. If you didn't go get your running back when it was time to go get running backs, and you didn't go get your left tackle or your pass rusher or whatever it is, you are unable to fix all of the issues that you have. I think the Chiefs have, I would say, two issues. Number one is running back. I think the Chiefs have told you at every single turn, we think we're fine. I'm allowed to disagree with them, but nothing the Chiefs have done in 2025 would lead me to believe that they don't feel that way about their running back room. They have had every opportunity to improve the running back room. They have told you no every single time. They've said no. Hey, what about Javonte Williams? Nah, we're good. What about J.K. Dobbins? Hey, what about trading up to go get Quinshon Judkins? What about R.J. Harvey? What about these guys? Nah, we're good every single time. So I don't think they're doing anything at running back just based on their own actions. At the defensive line, I think for the most part, they like their defensive line. You gave Chris Jones big-time money. You gave George Karlaftis money. You brought back Charles Omenihu. You went out and you traded for Derek Nottie. You traded for Mike Pennell. I mean, this defensive line was good enough last year to help them get to the Super Bowl. So you got to feel like it's good enough to potentially help them get back this year. And I listened all day. You guys told me it doesn't matter that you lost to Buffalo. It only matters in the postseason. If you're not worried about Buffalo, then tell me who you're worried about then. You worried about Denver? You worried about Indianapolis? You worried about Pittsburgh? Baltimore? What team are you worried about then? So I do think they have enough. I don't think the Chiefs are perfect by any means. No, not at all. But I 100% believe that the Chiefs, if they don't make another move the rest of the season, there's enough talent on this team to win the AFC. And I would take my chances with the Chiefs against any of the other teams in the AFC. That kind of goes in line with the Colts take that I have. I think a big reason why the Colts did this is the AFC feels a little bit more wide open than it has in years past. Baltimore's not the team that we thought they were going to be. Cincinnati's not the team we thought they were going to be. Kansas City might not be the team that we thought they were going to be. So if you're Indianapolis and you right now are sitting and you should feel like you were the best team in the AFC, this might be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity if you're Indianapolis to go for it right now. Kansas City might be a little worse. Buffalo could potentially be a little bit worse. Baltimore, Cincinnati, it might really be your time. You also might be in a position, if you're Indianapolis, where you only got to beat one of those teams. We always kind of talk about how if you're the 3 seed or the 4 seed, how you might have to go on the road to Kansas City, then you might have to go on the road to Baltimore, might be on the road to Buffalo. Indianapolis might get the opportunity to skip all of those things. What if Indianapolis just has to play either Kansas City or Buffalo at home for the AFC Championship game? What if that's what they got to do? Having Sauce Gardner to go up against Rashee Rice, that's a big-time positive for them. Having Sauce Gardner to go up against Khalil Shakir or Keon Coleman or lining him up against one of their tight ends is a massive, massive plus. It's not what I would have done if I'm the Colts. I think they paid a very, very heavy price for a player that I think is maybe a little bit more name than game, and a player that peaked a little bit his rookie year when he still kind of had all the glow. And then when the officials started refereeing him a little bit differently, I don't think he's been as dominant of a player that he was that first year that he entered the league. But Sauce is still a very good corner. And in a pass-happy NFL where you need 2 or 3 capable corners, there's no question that the Colts just added one of those. And if you look at the money, the Jets, they're kind of letting you off the hook because they've already paid the signing bonus. So this isn't a bad situation. I saw the financials. It basically lines up to the Colts paying Sauce Gardner $14 million a year. Now, it's the draft pick compensation, but $14 million a year for Sauce Gardner, that is a deal that every team in the National Football League should take. It's the compensation that scares you off. And if you're the Jets, I got to give the Jets credit. The Jets acknowledge what they are. They're a bad team. That's what they are. They're a bad team. They don't have to fake it. They don't have to lie to me and you. The Jets stink. I know it. Rob knows it. You know it. They know it. So if you know you're not good and you know that it's time for you to do something else, well, then do it. You traded 2 of your biggest assets. You were loading up on first-round picks for the future. Now, if you're going to be patient and stick to the plan and take a lot of swings at the NFL draft, why can't you be the Lions? Look at the Lions. The Lions, for a 3-year stretch, hit on picks. You hit on Amon-Ra St. Brown. You hit on Jamison Williams. You hit on Sam Laporta. You hit on Aiden Hutchinson. You hit on Jahmyr Gibbs. You hit on all of these things. Well, the Jets have given themselves a chance to be the Lions. Now, do you have the right GM? Do you have the right coach? Do you have the right culture, the right mindset? Those are questions that the Jets are going to have to answer. But whatever the Jets were trying to do, it was not working, and it was not going to work. You don't have the assets to go make it work. And if you're not going to be good this year, that ship has sailed. If you're probably not going to be good next year, then start lining yourself up to possibly be good in 2027. They've given them a chance at being good in a couple of years. So stick to the plan. Go get you Fernando Mendoza. Go get you Ty Simpson. Draft well around one of those young quarterbacks and give yourself a chance in a couple of years to be competitive in an AFC that, look at the talent in the AFC. It's not going anywhere. Mahomes isn't going anywhere. Allen's not going anywhere. CJ Stroud, Lamar Jackson, Joe Bright. These guys aren't going anywhere. So you better be competitive at the position. You better stockpile talent around your quarterback to give yourself a chance in a super competitive AFC.
Okay, so 2 things. One, let's start with the Jets, then we'll go back to the Colts. The Jets are treating the trade deadline like an NBA team does. They're trading off players that have big bloated contracts, and they're clearing up cap space, and they're just hoarding picks. I know Kansas City's not the world's biggest NBA town, but you, like the NBA, understand this analogy. The Jets are treating today like they're Sam Presti. Hey, you make a lot of money? See you later. Let's get some picks back for you. The Jets are positioning themselves. If I was a Jets fan, I'd be having a parade today. They've handled this perfectly. But let's talk about what you said about the Colts, about how they're operating today as if the AFC is wide open. Doesn't that just further what you said yesterday? Because if the Colts, mind you, who are still quarterbacked by Daniel Jones, they're having a good season, but they're quarterbacked by Daniel Jones, if they are saying in-house right now, yo, the AFC is gettable, and they're going to go attack to do that, isn't that an indictment of how the rest of the league or rest of the AFC feels about this Chiefs team? That the Colts feel like if we add, we can go get them. There was a time where there was an air of invincibility around the Chiefs. But now, if the Colts are operating in the world where, hey, the AFC is wide open, despite the fact that Mahomes is healthy, despite the fact his O-line is good, despite all those facts, if the Colts are saying it's wide open, isn't that a massive indicator of how the league feels about the Chiefs?
I don't know if that's the case, just because if you're the Colts, now I know that everybody thinks they got a run in them. The Colts feel like a prime regression 2026 team. Haven't we seen this story before? Like, haven't we seen it? Now, maybe they're the Tennessee Titans from a couple of years ago. You remember, Tennessee won the AFC South. Tennessee went on a run. They went to the AFC Championship game. They were good for the next couple of years, but they never really hit that peak. Maybe that ends up being the thing for the Indianapolis Colts. But what if this is it? What if you only get one shot? What if it's like I always say, everybody thinks they got another hit record. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes this is your 1,000 miles. And you better sing the hell out of that song to anybody that wants to hear it and make as much money as you can, because we can't name another song from you. Maybe this is it for the Colts. Maybe they get this one chance. The Chiefs aren't as good as we thought they are. Maybe they don't win their division. And if you're the Colts, would you take your chance at home against Bo Nix? I'd take my chance at home against Bo Nix. Would you take your chance at home potentially against Aaron Rodgers and who could win the AFC North? So I think some of it is just the shift in the National Football League that happens on a year-by-year basis. And this is just one of those teams that has been on the fringe. We've been asking each other for the last 3 weeks, hey, do you think the Colts are for real? Do you think the Colts are for real? It don't matter if you and I think the Colts are for real. They think they're for real. They think they got a shot. And they're moving like a team that thinks they got a shot this year. Hey, we got a chance to go to the Super Bowl. So we're going to do everything we can to go get it. We trust our quarterback. We like our run game. We like our offensive line. We like our weapons. Right now, we need an impact player on defense that can shut down one side of the field. They think they got it. I applaud the mentality of it. I think they overpaid, but it's one of those things that if you connect, if you hit, if you go to a Super Bowl, if you win one, no one's going to look back and say you overpaid for Sauce Gardner. They're going to give you credit for the ability to push your chips in the middle of the table and actually cash in and win the hand.
I respect the Colts going all in. I just feel like if the Colts going all in, to me, is at least a small indictment on how the league feels about the Chiefs. Because if the Colts are 7-2 right now and the Chiefs were 7-2, let's say the Chiefs are the same record as the Patriots. I'll cherry pick a good team. You think the Colts go all in on this season, or you think they say, okay, whoa, the Chiefs? We weren't seeing, surprise teams that last year this time go all in. It wasn't just the Chiefs and the Bills that were good on November 4th of 2024. There were other surprise teams popping up across the NFL. You didn't see everyone going all in. I think the NFL views the Chiefs as wounded, and that's and the Colts going for it is a sign of that. And you combine that with the fact that you told me yesterday you felt like the Bills and the Eagles and teams in the NFL think they can bully the Chiefs. I think today you're seeing that extend into the front office.
Text line 913-586-7965. If you want to chime in, you certainly can do so. Someone just asked the question, C-Dot, what do you think this means for Trent McDuffie? That is a very interesting question. Let's talk about that. What does this mean for Trent McDuffie? I would say that the Chiefs have all the information they need when it comes to Trent McDuffie. On both sides. Right now, you are playing a game. And in this game, there's a left and a right. Now, usually you don't know what's behind either side, either door. You have no clue. This time, you know exactly what's behind both doors. Well, what's behind door number one? It's a brand new contract. I can tell you exactly how much a brand new contract would look like for Trent McDuffie. I can tell you exactly what it is. Now, do you want to pay it? That's a different question. But no one can say that you don't know how much it costs to pay Trent McDuffie. If you think he is a franchise corner and he is a true lockdown, one of those ones, you know exactly what it costs. I'm sitting here looking at the deals right now. I'm looking at Denzel Ward's contract. I'm looking at what Sauce Gardner just got. I'm looking at what Marshawn Lattimore and Marlon Humphrey. I'm looking at those guys' contracts. We know exactly what it costs. So that's number one. Now, on the other side of it, let's say the Chiefs don't want to move forward with Trent McDuffie. We don't want to pay this. We see what Denzel Ward got at $105 million, and that's not what we want to pay. We see what J.C. Horn got, and that's not what we're willing to pay. Okay, that's fair. You now know what the compensation is. Now maybe, just maybe, Sauce Gardner is worth a little bit more than Trent McDuffie. Maybe the Colts were willing to pay an in-season tax to go get Sauce Gardner. It's fine. I'm not taking less than a 1 and a 2 now for Trent McDuffie, not when I've seen that a team is willing to pay 2 1s for a top-flight corner, and we feel like we got a top-flight corner. No chance I'm doing that if I'm Brett Veach. So I think that's your answer. What does this mean for Trent McDuffie? Option A, we know exactly what a contract should look like. There ain't no hometown discounts when you're 23, 24 years old. It's pay the price. That's what it is. It's pay the price. This is what the market says. I've been healthy. I haven't had any off the field issues. I've been great in the community. I'm healthy. I'm on the field. Whatever you need Trent McDuffie to do, he's done so far in a Chiefs uniform. So there ain't no, I'm taking less for the sake of the team. Nobody else is taking less for the sake of the team. So it's pay the money, or if you're wanting to walk away from Trent McDuffie, which is certainly your right as an organization, we now know what it costs. We now know what the expectation is. Remember we were having the argument about L'Jarius Sneed and what he's worth? This is what an elite corner is really worth. 2 first-round picks. not a future third. This is what you get if you got one of them ones, or the league feels like you got one of them. The Chiefs have one of those players. They have one of those guys in Trent McDuffie. You guys know I would pay Trent McDuffie. I think he's one of the 5 best corners in the National Football League. So the draft pick compensation wouldn't be enough for me. But if this thing turns left and the Chiefs are unwilling to pay the price, or they think that the market is just too rich, well, Rob, we know what it would possibly be in a trade if they wanted to move on from Trent McDuffie.
It now does create interesting fodder for February and March, because we knew this going into the offseason. Trent McDuffie is in extension time. We've seen all the corners get their extensions. We've now seen Sauce Gardner get his extension and get traded, but we've seen all the corners get their contracts. We now know what the trade value is for elite corner. If you are Brett Veach, maybe not today, maybe not on November 4th for all the reasons, but you now have to 100% entertain a Trent McDuffie trade next offseason. If you are getting 2 firsts, or let's say McDuffie's a little different, a first and a second, but you have to be open to this.
Let me ask you this, though, because this would be my question. Are the Chiefs trading him to a team like Indianapolis? Because the Jets, who are a bad team, they are willing to trade one of their good players to another good team. We're not going to be good in the next couple of years. This doesn't really affect us. They didn't care about AFC, NFC. Maybe they wouldn't have traded him to the Bills, but it was obvious that the Jets were willing to trade him to just about anybody. Your market's just going to be different if you are the Chiefs. And if you're the Chiefs, I mean, what really good team is trading the Chiefs 2 first-round picks? Like, do we think that a bad team is doing this? We think Cleveland is coming in with 2 first-round picks for Trent McDuffie? Probably not. Or it's going to be a good team, and then you're trading him to a team that could possibly then use Trent McDuffie to beat you. Are you trading him to Baltimore? Are you trading him to Buffalo? Are you trading him to Philadelphia, a team that you might see, Detroit? So that's where I think a trade for Sauce Gardner is just inherently easier, because the Jets aren't competing with anything. Their goal is, let's get as much assets as possible. That's not the Chiefs' goal. The Chiefs' goal is not to get as many first-round assets as possible. It's to try to build a championship competitive roster every single year. And you also don't want to trade one of your best players to now instantly become one of the best players for somebody else.
So let me ask you this, though, because last time we saw a mega trade like this in the NFL that involved the Chiefs, they traded Tyreek Hill, who was, by the way, on his second contract, was a little bit different, to the Dolphins. The Dolphins weren't the dregs of the league.
They were kind of bland, though. They were right in the middle.
They were a playoff team the ensuing year. The Chiefs gave Tyreek Hill to a team that became a playoff team, and then subsequently the Chiefs had to play that playoff team. So
that's a fair point. I can't argue that.
I don't think the Chiefs are scared of giving Trent McDuffie to a good team the way a lot of people are. You're right. The Jets are a little bit different situation. I'd also say it's very possible Trent McDuffie has more value than Sauce Gardner, because no team has to absorb a mega contract immediately. Part of the Colts thing is they have to have the cap space to take on Sauce Gardner's $120 million. But if you trade Trent McDuffie, you're not taking on any money. You have to give him an extension.
Immediately. You have to give him a contract immediately.
It's one thing to negotiate your own contract with a guy versus having to absorb someone else's negotiation. Like, does anyone think Joe Douglas, the old GM of the Jets, was doing a great job negotiating? Like, I would imagine McDuffie's value is pretty similar, and I don't think the Chiefs are scared to trade him to a contender if it comes to that.
So we just saw this. I don't know why you didn't tell me this, right? You should have hit the sounder. From Albert Breer, the Jets have been looking for a second-round pick for Jermaine Johnson and a third-round pick for Breece Hall. We'll see if they get either asking price. The Chiefs ain't trading a second or a third-round pick for anybody in this year's trade cycle. Maybe that's why you didn't tell me this. I just saw Jermaine Johnson, Breece Hall. I'm thinking, oh, hold on. I saw it from Albert Breer. There's no chance you think the Chiefs are trading a second-round pick, and they're trading a top 100 pick for a running back. I'm not buying. I'm not rolling. I'm not rolling at all. I think the Chiefs are standing firm.
If the Chiefs trade a third-round pick for Breece Hall, they're suckers. Plain and simple.
I wouldn't call them suckers. That's just not what I would do.
It's not a good
trade.
trade.
You know me. I'm captain running back. I would not trade a third-round pick for Breece Hall.
They're suckers because it's a bad deal. You mentioned Trent McDuffie having to give him an extension. You're trading a third-round pick for expiring Breece Hall?
Yeah, to then turn around and pay him when you should just then in that case, I would just do everything I can to make it work this year, and then this offseason actually go spend money on a running back. Now, maybe it's maybe, just maybe, this is the Chiefs identifying that we should have addressed this earlier, and now we're willing to pay the premium to go fix the position, maybe that's what they end up doing. But if this is the asking price for a player that really moves the needle, then the Chiefs are not making one of these kind of moves. The Chiefs are not trading the 57th overall pick today. They are not trading pick 91 today to go get Breece Hall. That's just not in line with how the Chiefs move. We got to be realistic about who the Chiefs are and who they're not, and they're not a team that really chases. If you're trading a second-round pick for Jermaine Johnson, you are chasing today, if that's your strategy. Coming up on the other side, we'll take a break from sports. There is a story that you absolutely have to hear. If you are my age or a little bit older, this story will blow your mind. We'll play it for you. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for K-State Athletics, 96.5. The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
FanDuel is putting you in control right from NBA tip-off because every day to start the season, you get to choose your reward. Take your shot with the Profit Boost token. You can play it cool with a no-sweat bet, or you can get a little backup with the Bet Back token. So what I like to do is I like to pick 3 players that I think are going to score at least 20 points. It gives you something to cheer for. It gives you something to root for. So you can put a little bit of extra sauce on it with the Profit Boot token, or you can just play it easy. You can play it relaxed with that no sweat bet. Whatever your pick is, whatever your strategy is, get into the game and play it your way. Head to FanDuel.com/KFNZ to make it your choice. FanDuel is an official sportsbook of the NBA and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expirations, league requirements, and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Get out with your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit kansasgamblinghelp.com.
Hey, folks. I've got a couple of important questions for you. Do you know how much money you need to retire? Do you have a plan in place for your loved ones? If your answer is no, it's time to get your financial planning on track with UMB Private Wealth. It's never too late to start. Plus, their team supports you at every step of the planning process. Go to umb.com/privatewealth to schedule your appointment. That's umb.com/privatewealth. Why not start today?
Hey, Kansas City, it's Brian Pringle with Victory Ford at the Legends in KCK. Right now, we've got incredible savings on the new 2025 Ford lineup. Drive home a brand new Escape Hybrid starting under $29,000. Folks, these Escape Hybrids let you charge if you want and get over 100 miles per gallon combined fuel economy. Or if you don't want to plug it in, you still get over 40 miles per gallon on gas only. You choose how you want to drive it. Looking for adventure? Check out the 2025 Bronco Sport starting under $29,000 or lease one for just $399 per month with 0 down. Need something with more space? We've got the new Explorer and the Expedition ready for your next family road trip. And truck fans, you can lease a new F-150 Crew Cab 4-wheel drive STX for 0 down and just $499 a month. Don't forget the Ford Maverick, roomy, versatile, and starting under $30,000. It's big on value, fits right in your garage, and drives like a dream. So visit us today at the Legends in KCK or online at victoryfordkc.com, where our first price is better than their last.
Lease payments plus tax, title, and license. See dealer for details.
DQ presents the sound of your next meal at DQ. It's the sound of savoring a signature stack burger, loving a chicken strip basket, or digging into everyday value with the $7 meal deal. Wait, where is the sound? Am I missing something? Oh, it's quiet because they're too busy enjoying their DQ food. Makes sense. So delicious and so peaceful. Grab your favorite from the DQ food menu today at participating U.S. locations. Only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Did you hear? Allstate car insurance now costs even less. So when you bundle with home, you can save even more. Check Allstate first to bundle and save with a new lower auto rate. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings may vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
This afternoon, expect sunny skies with a high of 64.
Weather brought to you by Robert Half. Our recruiters' expertise and award-winning AI will find you the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison on 96.5 The Fan and the Odyssey app.
All right, coming up at the top of the hour, we will get to the national reaction of Chiefs and Bills. We will also keep you up to date on anything that could potentially happen at the NFL trade deadline. There's been a couple of big moves. There's been some rumblings about Kansas City. Nothing has come together yet. You got 15 minutes to do a move in the National Football League. We'll see if anything comes down the pipe. Rob, if you hear anything, just hit the breaking news sounder. I don't have the computer open, at least not on Twitter. So if something happens, just hit the breaking news sounder and let us know what that is. I want to play this audio for you guys. So, Rob, you have not heard this audio. I came in and I cut this myself because I wanted you all to hear this at the exact same time. This audio is courtesy of the Today Show. Now, this is hard for me to believe. Now, I believe it, but I also don't believe it. Because if you're my age, you've done this plenty of times. Rob, I imagine you have also done this plenty of times. Those of you that are listening have done this plenty of times. We're losing recipes, man. Listen to this.
45% of men 18 to 24 have never asked a woman out in person. I think that no man wants to be that guy. One of the key things I think dads have to teach their sons is how to express romantic interest while making the other person feel safe. In addition, I hold big tech responsible for a lot of this. It used to be the sex cells. Now we found out, the algorithms found something better, rage and divisiveness. Yes. But they're trying to convince young men who have, quite frankly, less evolved prefrontal cortex, the gas on, gas off. But why go through the hassle of expressing friendship in the hierarchy of friends when you have Discord and Reddit? Why go through the hassle of putting on a tie, trying to navigate all of this when you think you can trade stocks or crypto on Coinbase or Robinhood? And why, Savannah, would you go through the humiliation, the effort, and the cost of approaching a strange woman when you have lifelike porn?
All right. I get it that the world is changing. I remember when I went back to get my degree a few years back, I had to write basically one big story to graduate, one 25-page paper, and I had to turn in. My school was very, very helpful in helping me go back and get my degree. I had to write one big paper on a subject. And what I chose was how social media has affected dating. And I was reading books and doing these studies, and over time, I started to see that the way people met one another had changed. People used to meet people at work, at church, in social settings. And we were becoming a generation that a majority of people met their wife through social media, and they had never met prior to that, which is very, very interesting. But Rob, these young boys, they're not asking girls out in person? So let me get this straight. When you're out and about and you're at the club or whatever kind of social setting that you're in, and you see a very, very attractive woman, these young boys, they aren't taking their shot. They're not going up to the pretty girl and saying hello and trying to, spit a little game and seeing if you can get her number, seeing if you can get her Instagram handle, then talk to her back. What? We're not teaching the young boys this. This is what we need to be teaching them in school. To hell with social studies. We need to be teaching you flirting 101. We got to be teaching little Timmy how to go up to young Tiffany and how to put his game down. That's not what we're teaching the young boys. 45%? Rob, these are college-age kids. You're telling me that you walking around the University of Kansas, you walking around K-State, you walking around Mizzou, you ain't trying to get at none of the honeys? They right there. You're not trying to talk to them? Rob, you got to help me make sense of this. We got to come together. We got to figure this out. What's going on with the youth?
I think, now listen, I'm not going to vilify big tech the way the person on the Today Show did, but I think if I'm a 19, 20-something and I see, I'll use KU as the example because I went to KU, and I see a girl at the Hawk or the Wheeler, so I'm like, oh man, she's hot. I might think to myself, instead of talking to her, I'll open Tinder, Hinge, Bumble, whatever, and just keep swiping, hoping that she pops up because it's a less terrifying, maybe, a less potentially embarrassing moment to hope to match her on the app than walk across the bar and talk to her because you might get shut down in front of all your friends. It might happen quietly on Bumble. No one notices. Like, I think that's why.
But that's the game, though.
I 100% agree.
I guess we're wondering, why aren't we telling the young boys that being rejected and being turned down is part of life? Because nobody's shooting 100% from the field. Everybody has been curved at some point. I've been curved, Rob. You've been curved. Anybody listening, you've been curved before. You've been really interested in a girl. You expressed interest in this young woman, and she told you she wasn't interested. Sometimes you got a chance for a second chance. Sometimes you can catch it on the rebound. Sometimes you can't. But that shouldn't stop you. I'm not saying be overly aggressive. I'm not saying take bad shots. Steph Curry misses threes all the time. He's not 100% from the field. You can't expect to be that. This isn't what we should be teaching the young generation. We can't be teaching them this. 45% of boys between 18 and 24 have never asked a girl out. You're just walking around on campus. You see a pretty girl. You're not going up to her. You're not saying nothing. Hey, how you doing? My name is Rob. You're not trying to make her laugh. You're not trying to initiate any conversation. You on just Snapchat talking to Chat GPT? We're losing recipes.
I 100% agree with losing recipes. I'm just saying, you're right. Everyone gets told no at some point in life, whether it be in this sphere or wherever. You're going to get told no at some point. I think people are so scared, so worried, so, whatever their feeling is about rejection that they don't even set themselves up. It's way easier to swipe right, oh, it never happened, so it goes, and move on, as opposed to walk across the room and be like, hey, I'm Rob. How are you? What are you doing? What classes are you in? Those sort of things, because that person might be like, oh, this person's crazy, and walk away. And now I got rejected in front of everyone. That fear, I think, drives is the motivator.
That's terrible, man. I'm going to pray for these young boys. That's what I'm going to do. Can we do that? Can we come together today? If you're the religious type, just pray for these young men between the ages of 18 and 24.
Someone on the text line makes a good point. I sound old.
You want to know when we lost recipes? This is when we lost recipes. We lost recipes when you didn't have to call the house phone anymore.
100%.
You remember back in the day when you were 12, 13 years old, she didn't have a cell phone back then.
You might get curved by a parent then, too.
You had to call the house phone to then ask her moms or her dad, can you talk to her? I'm telling you, these kids don't know.
I will say this. Someone on the text makes this good point, and I sound old. It's not they're on Tinder anymore. Nowadays, you can just open Snapchat, and it's like people you may know pop up, and then you just add. That's how you meet people now. You don't meet them by organically at events, at a party, at a bar, in class, whatever. You meet them by, hey, I'm friends with Joe. Joe's friends with Sally. Sally's friends with Susie, and she popped up on my people you may know on Snapchat.
Yeah,
that's
for sure.
But that's not meeting them. Come on, no.
I don't know, man. I had to play that story for you guys. I heard that story, and I was like, what, for real? These boys aren't asking the girls out on dates? What's going on now? Things have changed. I don't know the recipes anymore. Maybe we really are unk, Rob. Maybe you and I are just unk. Maybe that's what it is. Let me ask you this. Are these boys at least going to the door when they pick these girls up? Like when you were 16, 17, For those of you that have 16, 17-year-old daughters, and then the boy comes over to pick her up and take her to go get ice cream, is he even coming to the door, knocking on the door? Are you inviting them in the house? Are you having a conversation? This is part of the experience. This is part of dating. We're not giving them that experience. We're letting the kids down. That's what I'm thinking. I think we really let this generation down. Coming up at the top of the hour, we're going to continue to keep an eye on the NFL trade deadline. We'll tell you if anything else pops up. Sauce Gardner has been traded. Quinnen Williams has also been traded. Those have been the two major moves today. Breece Hall is still available. Jalen Johnson. So there's still a couple of names that are out there.
I mean, we got 5 minutes left.
We got 5 minutes.
Are they really available anymore?
We got 5 minutes. You know how it is when you walk into a store and they tell you they're about to close. You got to hurry up. You got to grab something because you're not going to get another opportunity to get it. So we'll see if another move happens. We'll recap the NFL trade deadline coming up at the top of the hour. We'll also play the national conversation. What were the pundits saying about the Chiefs losing to the Bills? That's coming up. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison. Watch the show on YouTube by subscribing to the 965 YouTube channel. The Drive, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. 96.5, The Fan.
Good morning, Casey's Country. Darn good coffee's now 49 cents when you buy any breakfast sandwich or burrito. Some are calling it a great deal. I call it sensational. I'm so sorry. Bad joke. Good deal, though. It's not crazy. It's Casey's. See store for details.
Hellsberg gifts checked off the list. Now, time for wrapping. Earrings for Mom. A gold bracelet to match the rings Danielle wears every day. And for Dad, a new watch, because we all know he needs one. All right, this is going to be a good one.
Our favorite things for your favorite people. Shop in store at Hellsberg.com for up to 50% off.
You could be on the 50 at GEHA Field for the official coin toss at a Chiefs home game this season. Enter to win at Chiefs.com/GEHA. GEHA is the proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Gear? Check. Snacks? Check. Tires? Not so much. I didn't have time to deal with this, so I asked my friend. Her answer was simple. Take it to Telly, she said, and I'm so glad I did. They didn't just take care of my tires, they took care of me. We got you, they said, and they did. Fast, friendly, and stress-free. Now I know when life throws you a red card, take it to Telly. Stay in the game. Take it to Telly.
It was just last week that 16 new students started their Centric journey. Before Centric, they were in the military, driving delivery trucks, handling package, managing warehouses, so much more, even finance. Now, they're all training for new careers in cybersecurity.
And at Centric, your background doesn't matter. Cody, you listed off some of the backgrounds of the students, but you know what does matter? Your future. And cybersecurity is the future, and Centric can help make it yours. Go to Centric.com, book a call with our friend Russ Mondry today.
It's time to build that dream deck over at All Weather Decks. Schedule a free estimate today at 913-206-1974 or online at allweatherdecks.net. All Weather Decks, the right deck at the right price.
Man, if your stream isn't as strong as it used to be, or you're taking more breaks to the bathroom than the last 2 minutes of a televised football game,
There's another timeout. We'll be back after this.
it's time to get checked. An enlarged prostate, or BPH, could be the cause. And Kansas City Urology Care is here to help. Fast answers, trusted care. Don't wait. Come see Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced urology team. Visit kcuc.com today. At KCUC, you see the best in KC.
Get ready, Missouri. Kickoff is near. The world's largest sports book is coming to your fingertips. Circa Sports, it's sports betting the way it should be. With high and transparent app limits, low holds, and exceptional customer service. Start betting like a pro in Missouri on December 1st. Learn about your new bookie today at circasports.com, the world's largest sports book at your fingertips. Circa Sports launches December 1st.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Wildcat fans, this is Wyatt Thompson. Tune in all season long to the play-by-play of the 2025 football season, right here on your home for K-State Athletics, 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
All right, we are monitoring the trade deadline right now to see if any last-minute news updates have come out. It is now officially closed. Now, that doesn't mean that a trade didn't happen at 2:57. It just hasn't been announced yet, and we're waiting to hear the information. But the trade deadline is now officially closed. We have not heard any developments about the Kansas City Chiefs. There were some rumblings about Breece Hall. They've been there all day. As we've seen with the Jets, they've been open for business. Jermaine Johnson was available. Breece Hall was available. Quinnen Williams got traded to the Cowboys. Sauce Gardner got traded to the Indianapolis Colts. So the Jets were active. They were the most active team at the deadline from a seller's perspective, but we haven't heard anything about either one of those guys. Rob, if you see something, certainly cut me off and let me know. I want to keep people updated on what's happening with the trade deadline. I want to stay updated on what's happening with the trade deadline. So if you see anything, let me know. But it would not appear right now that the Chiefs made a move at the deadline. I don't think that is a bad thing. Where are you at, Rob? Now, if we just with the information that we have, it's 3:01. It looks like the books are closed, and it looks like the Chiefs didn't do anything. I think that's fine. You just got back Rashee Rice. Josh Simmons is coming back after the bye week. The Chiefs are relatively healthy going into the second half of the season. I think the Chiefs have everything they need to make another deep run in the postseason. And I also think if they weren't willing to spend a top 100 pick or better, I don't think they were drastically improving their roster. I don't think the Chiefs wanted to spend what it takes to really make a move at the deadline. So I think the Chiefs made the decision to stay where they're at. I don't think that's a bad decision.
I do not disagree with the decision the Chiefs made today. I understand why the Chiefs made the decision they made today, and I think fans need to understand why. I pulled these stats. Brett Veach, in his time as general manager of the Chiefs, is not giving up day one picks midseason. He's giving up a conditional fifth that could turn into a fourth for DeAndre Hopkins. By the way, it stayed a fifth. He didn't check the box for it to move to a fourth. He's trading a sixth for McCole Hardman. He's trading a sixth for Melvin Ingram. He's trading a sixth for Joshua Uche. Those are the moves Brett Veach makes in November. Brett Veach is not Chris Ballard. I'm going to trade 2 first-round picks after Halloween. That's just not how he operates. The Chiefs did what I think is best for them today. They still have one of the, if not the best roster in the NFL. It's flawed, but every roster in the league is flawed. They are still in a fine spot because they still have 15 and they still have Andy Reid and they like where they are at. I also think it's important to note for people on the text line who are pushing back the Chiefs not doing anything was a mistake. I think as we enter, was it phase 2, phase 3 of this dynasty, you got to understand cost control assets, which what the draft is, are some of the most valuable things to this team. Chris Jones makes a big contract. Juwan Taylor makes a big contract. Now, those come off the books soon, but Patrick Mahomes makes a big contract. George Karlaftis makes a big contract. Some people want to give Rashee Rice a big contract. Like, Trent McDuffie is going to be due a big contract. Nick Bolton, Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith. Like, the good players the Chiefs had are getting paid. So giving up a third for a guy you're going to get 3 months out of is not really a thing. So I'm happy with how the Chiefs operate today. I think it's in line with how the Chiefs view their team and the situation and the future of their roster.
Yeah, I also think that people just aren't really being fair in acknowledging that the circumstances are different. Like, so someone just texted in, hey, Rob, why did the Chiefs trade for Kadarius Toney but don't feel like Breece Hall or some of these other players are worth it? Kadarius Toney was in his second year of a rookie contract. If that's what we were talking about with Breece Hall, if Breece Hall had 2.5 years left of club control and all it took was a third-round pick to go get him, he would have been traded. It is important to note, at least based on what we have, nobody traded for Breece Hall. It's not like we're talking about one of your contenders went out to go get Breece Hall. Every team in the league saw the price tag for Breece Hall and said no. Of the major moves that happened today, they all got, I would say, 100% of what I think the value of that player is. I don't think you get any more for Sauce Gardner than what the Jets got back for him. They got 2 ones and a player back for him. I don't think you get more for Quinnen Williams than what the Jets ended up getting today. So we're talking about maximum value. There were no deals to be had at the deadline this time. Who was the player that got traded for a 4th-round pick that we're sitting here thinking, man, I really wish the Chiefs had made that trade? Who's the player that went for a 5th-round pick that you're kind of kicking yourself for? The only player that we could possibly have this conversation about is Jalen Phillips. And I wasn't super excited about trading for a guy who tore his Achilles 2 seasons ago and tore his ACL and now is in a contract year and has 3 sacks. I wasn't super excited about trading Jalen Phillips, especially not for a 3rd-round pick.
Also, on the Breece Hall front, this is from Jordan Schultz, who we will try to get on the show tomorrow. Jets are not trading and will not trade Breece Hall, who wanted out, or Quincy Williams or Jermaine Johnson, per sources. Jordan Schultz says offers were not good enough to get any of those players.
Yeah, no one's paying top dollar for a player, for a running back that they got to turn around and pay at the end of the season. I mean, someone's going to sign Breece Hall at the end of the season. I'm not giving you a 3rd-round contract for the opportunity to pay Breece Hall at the end of it. You really got one choice. You got to basically pay him off the franchise tag at the end of the year. I'm not trading you a 3rd for a rental for Breece Hall. No. I want to read this for you guys. Text line 913-586-7965. Completely disagree with what the Chiefs did. They could have got Quinnen Williams for a steal, and it would have upgraded their D-line. That and they could sign Christian Wilkins off the scrap heap, and our D-line becomes impressive and imposing. I want you guys to stop with this Christian Wilkins. Christian Wilkins is turned into Trevor Bauer. That's who he's turned into. He's a name that's available. Everybody knows who he is. Nobody is interested in Christian Wilkins right now. There's not a single team in the league. Think about this. Think about the kind of people that the NFL have signed. I have no clue what's going on with Christian Wilkins, but if nobody in the league wants him, that's a sign. The league has signed just about anybody. Like anybody. They've signed people who have done some bad things to football teams. The fact that nobody want Christian Wilkins on their team, it has to mean something. There's no interest in Christian Wilkins at this point. And we say they could have got Quinnen Williams for a steal. What steal are we talking about? He got traded for a 1st-round pick today. Quinnen Williams got traded for a defensive tackle, a 2nd-round pick next year, and a 2027 1st-round pick. That's a steal for Quinnen Williams? At his contract, I don't think that's a steal at all. I don't think that any player was had for a steal today at the deadline. I really don't think that happened. You guys know I'm at the front of the line to criticize Brett Veach when it comes to stuff. I can't criticize him for how he handled the trade deadline. You got to give me a legitimate name or a player that changed hands, somebody that you really wanted. You got to give me that. They were not getting Quinnen Williams. They weren't getting Sauce Gardner. Who else got traded today that people think the Chiefs really should have got? The criticism today to me towards Brett Veach seems unfair and seems reactionary to a game that everybody told me yesterday doesn't matter. It's the regular season. It just feels very, very reactionary because I don't think we'd be having this conversation if the Chiefs had beat Buffalo in the regular season. They were 6-3 heading into the deadline, and everybody was feeling good about the team. So I don't want to overreact to a loss in the middle of the regular season. I just don't want to do that. Let me play for you guys a little bit of what the national conversation has been the last couple of days. And Rob, if you see something about the trade deadline, let me know. I saw that the Chargers made a slight trade on the offensive line. They traded with the Saints to pick up somebody. They needed somebody. They lost their left and their right tackle. So they just needed bodies at this point. Here's Nick Wright on the loss yesterday.
Destiny of this NFL season and it had the Chiefs won against Buffalo, it wouldn't have been possible for this to happen realistically. That the final game that is ever played in Highmark Stadium is a Chiefs-Bills playoff game, potentially with the Super Bowl on the line, Super Bowl appearance on the line. And at the final moments of that forsaken stadium is the Chiefs once again beating Buffalo to steal from the city of Buffalo the only thing other than wings that they really have to their name, which is the 4 consecutive Super Bowl appearances.
James is from
and had the Chiefs won, there wouldn't be a Chiefs playoff game in Buffalo, and now there can be. And so I will, again, even the tackle that turned the tide can't stop Chiefs-Bills' ultimate destiny, which is one final playoff game in Buffalo to close that stadium out.
That was Nick Wright yesterday on the Chiefs and their loss to the Buffalo Bills. I want to read a couple of these text line right now. The text line, very, very upset that the Chiefs didn't make a trade. CDOT, national analysts are saying that Philadelphia is going to get a compensatory pick if they lose the player that they just traded their 3rd-round pick for. The general football people don't understand how compensatory pick works. I'm just telling you the truth. The average majority of people that do this for a living do not understand how compensatory pick works. So they might, maybe, but we say this every year. Oh, well, just get a compensatory pick. And then when we find out who it is, you get a into the 6th round selection for a player. We do this every single year with a player. I'm sorry. You guys, there is no part of me that is unhappy that the Chiefs didn't get Jalen Phillips. There's not a single part of me that is upset by that. And I still maintain this. One of the solutions for the Chiefs' problems is the guys that they have simply playing better, getting more from Chris Jones than you've gotten, who has 7 sacks in the last year and a half. They just gave George Karlaftis $64 million, and we spent all offseason patting Brett Veach on the back about how he was early doing this and how that's the smart thing to do and how you can't wait when it comes for guys like this. Bringing back Charles Omenihu. They got enough on the defensive line to be capable. They got enough on the defensive line. There was 2 defensive linemen that got traded the last couple of days. And one of them got traded for a 1st-round pick. And the other one, he hasn't played in 16 games combined the last 3 seasons. And these are the guys I'm supposed to be upset that they didn't go out and mortgage top 100 picks for? I can't do that. So you got what you feel you got one of the best defensive coordinators in the history of the National Football League. You got a 1st ballot Hall of Fame defensive lineman. You got an all-pro corner. Tell those guys to play better. Why is that not a solution today? The solution was going to get Colin Saunders. Colin Saunders is not the difference in them going to or losing the Super Bowl. It's Chris Jones playing better. It's Charles Omenihu playing better. They got enough. We don't got to do this. We spent 3 weeks saying they were the best team in the AFC. Just 8 days ago, we were saying this. Now they don't got enough? I'm sorry. I can't do it. If you guys want to call in, we can do so. 913-586-7965. I think the Chiefs got enough. I'm on Brett Veach's side, and I'm very rarely on Brett Veach's side. I'm on his side. I think they handled the trade deadline correctly. I don't think there was a move to be had. Last year, there were moves to be had. They needed a wide receiver. There were multiple names that were out there. They got one of those names. It didn't end up being a great move for them, but they needed to make a move. They made a move. I don't think there was that move to be made for them on the defensive line. There's not that player coming in that's saving the pass rush. There's no Greg Rousseau. There's no Bosa. There's not that move that's available. If you wanted Calais Campbell, nobody traded for Calais Campbell. It's not like we saw what he was worth and we didn't think the Chiefs wanted to pay the price. Nobody paid the price this deadline. So if you guys are frustrated, I'm happy to talk about it. 913-586-7965. I'm on the Chiefs side. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
This is Wyatt Thompson from K-State, and you're listening to The Drive with CDOT right here on 96.5 The Fan and the Odyssey app.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Hey, folks, it's Carrington Harrison from The Drive here. Many men remember their first time. Not that first time. I'm talking about the first time that erectile dysfunction ruined that special moment. And if you're over 50, then the chances are then you've experienced this before. That first time can be frustrating. It can be a little bit embarrassing. But here's the good news. At Heartland Men's Health, that first time can also be the last time. Heartland Men's Health specializes in treating ED when the pills and herbals fail. With a success rate of over 90%, many men see results just after one visit. So your first visit is just $99, which includes a consult, lab work, and if medically advised, you get to test those. And if it doesn't work right there in the office, then your visit is on the house. So don't let ED define your sex life. Call my friends at Heartland Men's Health today at 844-447-6600 or check out the website, heartlandmenshealth.com today. You can also stop by and visit any of the 3 area locations, Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City. Be sure to stop by Heartland Men's Health.
BetMGM is coming soon to Missouri. On November 17th, sports fans in Missouri can pre-register and get up to $1,500 paid back in bonus bets if their first bet loses, plus an additional $100 in bonus bets if they deposit before December 1st. Enjoy a betting app that was designed for game day with features like live bets, same-game parlays, BetMGM reward points, and surprise boosts dropping in your account all throughout the season. It's everything a sports fan could want in one app. Pre-registration is coming soon to Missouri on November 17th. BetMGM, make it legendary. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 and older only. Missouri only. New customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements and minimum deposit of $10. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable and expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly. Pending BetMGM's licensure as a mobile sports wagering operator with the Missouri Gambling Commission register for a Missouri online sports wagering account 1117. BetMGM's insurance of welcome offer is conditional on full license.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
250 years ago, a promise was made to connect families and friends near and far. And during the holidays, that promise is more important than ever. That's why USPS is building a better network to meet your needs with timely deliveries, easy and affordable ways to ship, and everything you need to make your season full of holiday cheer. Our purpose is delivering your peace of mind, knowing your love will arrive, bringing joy to all. The United States Postal Service. Learn more at USPS.com/holidays.
Target's early Black Friday deals are almost here, and they're bigger than ever. Take 40% off select gifts and holiday decor for 3 days only, starting this Thursday. Score can't-miss deals on new fits for the whole fam, festive lights and decorations to brighten your home, and even top toys like select Lego sets for endless holiday fun. Shop in-store or online, but don't miss out. These deals are going fast. 40% off gifts and holiday decor starts Thursday, only at Target. Restrictions apply.
Another app for inventory, one for CRM. Oh, don't forget accounting. Wait, which login was that?
Or you could use Odoo, one fully integrated system that does it all without the hassle. Ditch the app overload. Get everything your business needs on one platform. Try Odoo free today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Not available in all states. Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary. Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program may only have to pay back a mere fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it could end your debt nightmare and save you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. For free information and to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, simply go online and visit DRA.com or call 800-474-1811. 800-474-1811. That's 800-474-1811.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Andy's Frozen Custard. Visit eatandys.com to find the location nearest you. Top your day with a smile.
Let me tell you about my good friend Andy from Andy's Frozen Custard. He's from Kansas City, never misses a game, and serves the world's finest frozen custard. Tailgate with a pick six, or grab a freshly made custom treat before or after a game. And tell him Mitch and Andy sent you.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Andy's Frozen Custard. We've got a two-car crash just outside of downtown, 635 southbound before Kansas Avenue. Right lane is blocked, and then a crash 71 southbound on the ramp to 435 westbound. Be prepared to tap your brakes. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Chris Jones from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
I swear to you guys that these things are not planned. But sometimes I feel like when you guys zig, I zag, and then the other way, I just try to stay even-keeled. Because, Rob, you've been here when you and I have criticized moves for the Chiefs. And the thought process was, in Veach we trust. You remember this offseason, you and I both said, I wouldn't have paid Nick Bolton and I would have spent that money elsewhere. Text line told us to shut up. We spent all summer arguing about positional value. You and I both said, I don't know if I would have gave Trey Smith all of that money. Text line told us to shut up. In Vegas we trust. You got to do this. I remember saying that I thought the contract for George Karlaftis was a little bit too early and that I thought the Chiefs should have made Karlaftis earn the deal. The sentiment was, well, you got to be early to this. You can't be late. Okay, all right. So that was the stance. Now that we're here and all of the heavy lifting is done with the roster, I'm like, all right, this is the team. This is the team that they have. I'm looking at the AFC. If you're telling me the Colts are the best team, the Patriots are also in that mix. Do you trust Daniel Jones? Do you trust Drake May in January? I don't yet. I don't think I have much of a reason to trust those individuals. The sentiment yesterday was we don't care about losing in the regular season to the Buffalo Bills. Let's see if they can do it in January. Okay, that's a fair stance. Is anybody picking the Broncos to win the division? Are people taking the Chargers? Because if I said I like the Chargers, the text line would try to crucify me. What are you talking about? Your Chargers dot. So I hate to be the one to give you this message. Let's just woo-saw a little bit. Now, I think we have to be fair to Brett Veach by this. If there was a move that had happened that you feel the Chiefs should have made, then call up 913-586-7965. Was there somebody that you think the Chiefs missed out on? Because at the deadline, there were two major moves that happened. I mean, we don't think they were trading for Sauce Gardner, do we? We don't think that. Quinnen Williams. I also don't think the Chiefs were trading a 1 and a 2 for a defensive lineman. If your argument is Breece Hall, I'll listen to it, but I don't think trading a third-round pick for a running back on an expiring contract that you'd have to turn around and probably pay him like a top 5 running back when I don't think he's a top 5 running back, I don't think that's good business. So if those were all of the available options, or from yesterday, Jalen Phillips is available, he is a failed first-round pick. Let's call it what it is. He's a failed first-round pick who has never had double-digit sacks in a season, never had 9 sacks in a season, and has played in less than 16 games the last 3 years combined. He has 3 sacks in a contract year, and he just got traded for a third-round pick. I would not have done that move. So I can't have all of these feelings and now come on here and be like, oh, Veach, you did a terrible job. No, I don't think Veach did a good job or a bad job. I think Veach played the market correctly. Rob, where do you sit? Because you are much more about keeping picks. You're much more about stockpiling them and looking to the future. That's what the Chiefs did. I think they made the right choice.
I think the Chiefs made the right choice because I think the moves that were made were probably too rich for their blood, which I'm fine with that being the decision-making process. It also felt like it was only high-priced players being traded today. Like, usually you see like a 6th round for Joshua Uche. Not that that kind of trade didn't happen today, but it was a lot more Sauce Gardner type of moves. Like, for a shopping analogy, you know how this show loves analogies. Today's trade deadline was like people were eating at Capital Grill. The Chiefs don't have Capital Grill money or aren't willing to spend Capital Grill money, so they're fine going to Texas Roadhouse or eating at the house. And I'm fine with that decision-making process by the Chiefs. Hold on to the picks, trust your roster. They were considered the favorite for the Super Bowl and still are on FanDuel. Like, no team in the AFC got dramatically better today. No team in the NFC got dramatically better. I am totally fine standing pat by the Chiefs.
I'm also looking at these contrasts because someone said, CDOT, I would have tried to go get Sweat or Bradley Chubb. Montez Sweat, his base salary next season is $20.9 million with a $25 million cap hit. I don't think the Chiefs were adding that salary at the trade deadline. They've never added that. They've always either added an expiring player or a player on a rookie deal. They have never, in the Patrick Mahomes era, made a trade for a player who is currently under a 4-year, $98 million deal. And that's what Montez Sweat is. If you wanted the Chiefs to go get Bradley Chubb, he fits the exact same profile. Bradley Chubb, he's making $19.4 million next season with a cap hit of $31 million. We thought the Chiefs were adding that at the deadline. We thought the Chiefs were going to trade a 3rd-round pick and take this contract on from Bradley Chubb. You know who the Chiefs are. Everything the Chiefs did this offseason was bargain basement. At running back, they went bargain basement. At wide receiver, they did that. At corner, they didn't spend a whole lot of money in free agency. I mean, they spent 2 relatively big deals. I don't want to call the Jalen Moore deal a big deal. He signed $21 million guaranteed. It's not a big deal by NFL standards. And then Christian Fulton, he signed for $12 million guaranteed. These are not massive contracts. The Chiefs just weren't big spenders this offseason. I think they will be next, or at least for players outside. They were with their own players. They gave Trey Smith a lot of money. They gave Nick Bolton a lot of money. But there was no part of me that thought that the Chiefs were about to give Bradley Chubb $20 million next year at 30 years old. There was no part of me that thought they were about to do that.
Now, I don't need to get to these calls. I will say one thing. This is a fair text to get in. I would like to see the Chiefs unload Christian Fulton. That's a move I would have liked to see the Chiefs make today.
I told you for 2 weeks.
But no one
why
wants
would
him.
a team take Christian Fulton's contract off the board for the Chiefs? Why would a team do that?
I agree. It's clear now that no NFL team was going to bail the Chiefs out, but that's the only move today that I would have been like, oh, that would have been nice, but they probably couldn't find someone to dance with because no one wants that contract for a guy who doesn't play. So that's the only thing I have upset today. I would have liked them to unload a bad contract. They couldn't.
Text line 913-586-7965. Let's go to the phone lines. Let's hear what you guys think. Ivan, you called into the show. Hey, Ivan, how you doing, man?
Good. How are you, C-Dup?
How you doing, man?
Pretty good. Hey, I was wondering why Brett Beach didn't go after Jeffrey Simmons from the Tennessee Titans. I would hope they would try to unload and get a linebacker because our linebackers have been exposed from last year for the tight ends, and I just don't trust these linebackers with tight ends.
I appreciate the phone call. Let's look at Jeffrey Simmons' contract really quickly. Jeffrey Simmons at the end. So next year, Jeffrey Simmons is going to make $20.1 million with a $25 million cap hit next year. A $25 million cap hit. I don't think the Chiefs are making that kind of move. He has 2 years left on his deal. He's making $20 million next year and $23 million in 2027. So the Chiefs were going to have that contract on the books along with Chris Jones' contract and along with George Karlaftis' deal. That's not what I thought they were going to do. Reggie, how you doing today, my man?
What's up, fellas? I got to be honest, man. I'm very disappointed. I think the one thing that the trade deadline for me personally just showed is that the Chiefs just aren't going to be serious contenders in the playoffs because as it currently stands right now, we're not even in the playoffs. We need interior help next to Chris Jones, obviously, and the Chiefs tried to do that with Norman Lott. He got hurt, unfortunately, but I'm disappointed we couldn't be in on that first round of free agency yesterday. I think it was when the kid from the Titans, Draymond Jones, got traded for like a conditional fifth or something like that, or a fifth round pick. That seemed like that was something in the Chiefs' wheelhouse. And then my last statement is, if I'd be totally fine if we went out and we got Christian Wilkinson off the street. I know he's been kissing dudes on the forehead in the locker room, but maybe they can keep him from doing zesty stuff for the last 10 or so games and get Chris Jones some help on the interior, because I don't think Chris Jones is washed like Fesco keeps saying. I just think he needs more help on the inside. So that's it, guys. Take care.
I appreciate the phone call. I can't do it with Christian Wilkins. I really can't. I don't want to hear Christian Wilkins' name come up anymore. I really don't. I don't want to hear it. He's not playing this year in the National Football League. I don't know if Christian Wilkins is ever playing again in the National Football League. I honestly don't know what it is. I have no clue what it is with Christian Wilkins. I have no clue. I mean, we've all heard the exact same stories, the exact same ones. We've heard them. There's not a rumbling around Christian Wilkins. Rob, I typed his name in Google. I just did a Google search. And you know, if you click on news, right, it'll tell you like how often that player's name comes up, right? Like if you type, whoever player, right? Do you know how many stories have been written about Christian Wilkins since he got cut from the team? 2. You type in Christian Wilkins and then go on news. There's 2. He's not playing in the league for anybody. So it's not just the Chiefs take him. No one's taking a chance on Christian Wilkins. So if that's the solution, then what are we doing here then? Then I want him to get Warren Sapp then. I mean, if we can just play fantasy GM, then that's what I want him to do. I want him to go get Warren Sapp. They got a better chance of getting Warren Sapp on this team than getting Christian Wilkins on the team. Let's go to the phone lines. Jake, you calling us to the show. Hey, Jake, how you doing, man?
Hey, man. Thank you guys for what you do. Beautiful day in Kansas City. I just want to say that I listen to you guys every day, and every year on the day of the final day of the trade deadline, I don't listen, and this is why. You are getting a taste of why other teams' fan bases just straight up hate the Kansas City Chiefs fans. Because some of them are like 15-year-old girls that want the cool new toy, don't know what it costs, don't care what it costs, because they just, are living willy-nilly in life. While the parents, Andy Reid, Brett Veach, Clark Hunt, are having to make real-life decisions. And some of us that know football know that Wilkins is out of the league. This has been done before to players. Breece Hall wasn't getting the ball 25 times to make an impact, because that's not how our offense is built. Malik Collins is 30 years old and was really the only guy that made a whole lot of sense. And then you go to tell people this and speak real-life things to people, and they're like, oh, well, I know we just said in Brett Veach we trust this August, but I don't trust him anymore. Our linebackers are going to get screwed. Well, we just went to 3 Super Bowls with the same damn linebackers. So I don't really know what we're talking about here. I love you guys. Thank you for what you do. Go Chiefs.
I'm with you, Jake, man. I appreciate the phone call. Thanks so much. I want to read this text. Text line 913-586-7965. C-Dot, I think we are going to end with 6 or 7 losses and then hear how we should have done something today. I promise you that will not be my take. If the Chiefs end up with 7 losses, it will be because of things that happened in March and April and how they didn't make the correct moves then. That will be the difference. The difference will not be them trading a 6th-round pick for a defensive tackle. If the Chiefs end up with 7 losses, it will be because they made one move on defense for a player that does not play for them. That's what happened. They made one move on defense. It was for Christian Fulton. He doesn't play. He's not hurt. He is a healthy inactive every single week. So right now we're talking about improvements that they should have made to the defense. They didn't spend any money in free agency on the defense. And when they did spend money, they don't think the guy's good enough to play. They basically made a donation to Christian Fulton. We all knew that their running back room wasn't good enough. It's not like that information just hit us after they lost to the Bills. We knew that in March. We knew that in April that they had a weak running back room. We knew that in February, in January, that they weren't good enough at running back. It's not like this just came up and surprised all of us. We knew it. Isaiah Pacheco was coming off a broken leg. You didn't have anybody else under contract. We had all of this information. So if the Chiefs end up losing the AFC West, if the Chiefs end up having to go on the road in the wild card round, it will not be because they didn't make a move in November. It will be because they mismanaged March and April and the draft. Where's Jalen Royals at? Have you guys seen Jalen Royals? Omar Norman Lott got hurt. Now, not the Chiefs' fault, but they spent money on a defensive lineman. He doesn't play for him. They spent the first-round pick on somebody. They haven't got anything from him in 2 years. So all of the decisions, it is not about this one day to me. It will be a collective of decisions that have been made over the last handful of months that just didn't end up working. Or they get back in it. It's the same guys that they've won championships with, and they figure it out. That's also a possibility. It's a possibility that the team that we saw run through 3 teams at Arrowhead a couple of weeks ago and outscored their opponents 89-24, it's a chance that that team still exists. And that they just had an off night on the road against a team that for whatever reason in the regular season, they just don't match up well against. They just don't match up well against them. But I am excited about, I am hopeful for, if you are on the fence about the Chiefs, we're about to get all of our answers when they get back off of their bye week. We get all of their answers. They played basically the 3 best teams in the AFC in 3 straight weeks. They played Buffalo, they go on the road and play Denver, and they play Indianapolis at home. So we will have all of our information about the Chiefs heading into that Thanksgiving game against the Cowboys. Let's go back to the phone lines. It's our guy Neil in Lone Jack. Neil, how you doing today, my man?
I'm doing better, Carrington. Thanks for taking the call, Carrington and Rob. Great to hear both of you, as always. For the most part, I agree with both of you. Listen, I had a wish list for this free agency period. I would have loved to have had Jalen Phillips. I would have loved to have had Devon Achane at the right price. The Chiefs decided that they weren't worth that price, and I'm okay with that. I accept it. I agree with you. I believe that this team, as it stands, if they play well, is good enough to beat anybody in the NFL and win a Super Bowl. I believe that wholeheartedly. I thought they were going to prove it. They proved it over the last few weeks. They proved it against Detroit. 100% they proved it against Detroit. Detroit was nothing wrong with their offense, and we held them down. This defense is good enough to get the job done. I thought that they were going to prove it again against Buffalo this past weekend. They screwed up. That's why I was so pissed off on Sunday night and Monday morning. That's why I've been ranting and raving and calling everybody like a crazy person and texting everybody like a crazy person for the last 2.5 days, because I believe they were good enough to win that game, especially under the circumstance we've had. There are like kryptonite in the regular season for the past several years, but under the circumstance, I thought they were going to go out there, prove that they were one of the best teams, if not the best team in the NFL, and put themselves in the driver's seat for the division and put themselves in a good position for the 1 seed still. They screwed that up. That pissed me off. It drove me crazy. It's frustrating. I believe if Chris Jones plays well, this defense is good enough to beat anybody in the NFL. I believe if our offense plays well, we're good enough to beat anybody in the NFL. I trust Brett Veach. Brett Veach has proven over and over again, 3 out of 5 Super Bowls, except for the one anomaly this past year against Philadelphia. Because the first Super Bowl we got destroyed in had nothing to do with Brett Veach. He did his best. He made moves. He tried to do what he could with the offensive line. The offensive line was completely decimated. This past Super Bowl, the offensive line just simply wasn't good enough that day. But by all merits, this offensive line is one of the best in the NFL, and I believe, especially with a healthy Josh Simmons and a healthy Trey Smith, this team is good enough. I agree with you and Rob. Standing pat is fine, but these boys got to play. Chris Jones, you got to come to the table, especially off the bye against Denver and then against Indianapolis. We win those 2 games, we're right back where we want to be.
I'm with you, Neil. I appreciate the phone call as always, man. I mean, that's just that's how I feel. Text line 913-586-7965. We'll get back to the phone lines. CDOT, the Chiefs have a plan for Christian Fulton. It must be the most top secret plan I have ever seen. Christian Fulton hasn't played since September 14th. September 14th. Snaps. So we're talking about he hasn't played in 2 months for the Chiefs. So if they got a plan for Christian Fulton, I would love to figure out what the plan is. It is the most top secret plan they have ever put together. What is their plan? To not play him and then wait to he's their secret weapon for the postseason? That's their plan? Hey, I know we didn't play you at all in the regular season. We've been holding you back. No, he's healthy. So no, not at all. Let's go back to the phone lines. Brett, how you doing, my man?
I'm good, C-Dot. Appreciate you taking my call
of course.
here. What's your honest opinion if Justin Simmons would have been starting at left tackle last week against the Bills? Do you think that would have had any effect on the Chiefs' victory and on the Chiefs' loss? Do you think that would have really, improved their pass protection?
That's a good question, Brett. I appreciate the phone call. I mean, I definitely think it would have had an effect. I do think we've learned over the last month, while Josh Simmons has been missing, I do think that he is the best left tackle on the roster. And I think it's noticeable that he is the best left tackle on the roster. So, I mean, improving at that position. But I also think that the Chiefs had enough on their offensive line to beat the Buffalo Bills. You spent real money on Jalen Moore. We're not talking about some late-round draft pick. This is a Mike Rimmers that you played at left tackle. That's a capable offensive line. That's an above league average offensive line that went up against the Buffalo Bills. I think you just got to give the Bills a lot of credit. Russo played well. Bosa played well. AJ Epinesa played well. I think you got to tip your cap to the Buffalo Bills. Coming up at the top of the hour, Joshua Briscoe is going to join us on the show with the Chiefs Radio Network. We'll get his thoughts on the trade deadline. The Chiefs did not make a move. I'm okay with that. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison, a show that prides itself on getting it right.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. 96.5, The Fan.
FanDuel is putting you in control right from NBA tip-off because every day to start the season, you get to choose your reward. Take your shot with the Profit Boost token. You can play it cool with the no-sweat bet, or you can get a little backup with the Bet Back token. So what I like to do is I like to pick 3 players that I think are going to score at least 20 points. It gives you something to cheer for. It gives you something to root for. So you can put a little bit of extra sauce on it with the Profit Boot token, or you can just play it easy. You can play it relaxed with that no sweat bet. Whatever your pick is, whatever your strategy is, get into the game and play it your way. Head to FanDuel.com/KFNZ to make it your choice. FanDuel is an official sportsbook of the NBA and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expirations, league requirements, and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Casino LLC. Gambling problem? Get out with your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit kansasgamblinghelp.com. Listen up, folks. I want to tell you guys about my new obsession. It's Daisy French Onion Dip. With football season here, it is the perfect dip for your chips, your wings. The delicious Daisy French Onion Dip and the Daisy Ranch Dip, they're game changers. They're delicious as a homemade dip, and they're made with real herbs and real spices and also ingredients that you'd find right there in your kitchen. So the next time you're having people come over to celebrate the start of the football season, you better make sure you have one thing, and I'm talking about that Daisy French Onion Dip. You can find it the next time you go to the grocery store.
What's up, guys? It's Drew. Confidence is key. You hear that all the time when it comes to everything in your life. The players that we watch and all the winning that we see comes from players who are confident and are able to deliver when it matters most. What if you could be more confident where it counts? I'm talking about Blue Chew. They provide access to chewable tablets that help you feel and perform at your best. Stronger, harder, longer lasting, like someone gave your downstairs a pep talk and a gym membership. Because showing up matters during life's most exciting moments. Day nights just got longer and better for everyone. Be ready when she is. Turn oh no into oh yes with Blue Chew. This isn't just about performance. Nothing makes you more of a legend than a little Blue Chew. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. There's an offer for you there. You get your first month free when you use our promo code KFNZ at checkout. Just cover $5 in shipping. That's it. Head to BlueChew.com for details and safety info. Then you'll be ready to chew it and do it.
I'm worth more.
I'm worth a little more.
I'm worth a lot more.
I completely agree. You are worth more, and your car's worth more. And we want to pay more at GiveMeTheVin.com for good cars, because they are worth more, and so are you. And remember, if I don't beat the price on a CarMax or a Carvana deal, I'll pay you $100. For top price, trust, and ease of transaction, GiveMeTheVin.com, America's best car buyer.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
Not available in all states. Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary. Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program may only have to pay back a mere fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it could end your debt nightmare and save you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. For free information and to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, simply go online and visit DRA.com or call 800-474-1811. 800-474-1811. That's 800-474-1811.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This one brought to you by Park and Go. You got a two-car crash, 635 southbound. It's just before Kansas Avenue. Right lane is blocked. And then you've got a stall, 635 southbound at Schwartz. Left lane blocked there. So big backups through the area down south. 435 eastbound just before 470-49. Left lane blocked by a stall. If you're traveling this holiday season, let Park and Go take the stress out of holiday travel with easy online reservations, free shuttles, luggage assistance, and all covered parking. You'll be Jingle Bell ready. Reserve your spot today at bookparkandgo.com. Happiest of holidays from Park and Go. And I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Subscribe to 96.5 The Fan on YouTube to watch the show from wherever you are.
Welcome back into the show. My name is Carrington Harrison. Very happy to be here with you. We have the ratings information from Sunday's game. 30.8 million viewers for Chiefs and Bills. It is the fifth best game on Sunday on CBS since they have been covering the NFL since 1998. Big time views for Chiefs and Bills. I think we all knew to expect that. I'm actually a little bit surprised that fewer people watched this than watched Chiefs and Eagles earlier this season. I guess it makes a little bit of sense. A Super Bowl rematch. Excuse me. But that game got 33.4 million viewers. This got 30.8 million viewers. Nonetheless, we knew it was going to do a massive number. It did a massive number. Chiefs and Bills, 30.8 million viewers on Sunday. I want to play a little bit more of the national conversation that has been around the Kansas City Chiefs. Here is Colin Cowherd talking about the game on Sunday.
Buffalo, don't pat yourself in the back. Howie Roseman's already made a move. Go upgrade wide receiver. Go upgrade wide receiver. You beat him. It doesn't mean you're going to beat him in January.
Well, we saw that Buffalo did not improve at wide receiver. They're the same team today that they were on Sunday when they went up against the Kansas City Chiefs. There are a couple of overarching questions that hover over the National Football League. For example, who's going to be the one seed in the AFC? Only one team gets the bye week. Only one team gets home field advantage. And all of those teams just feel super bunched up. You can make a case for 4 different teams being the one seed in the NFC. So that is going to be a question that we are going to ask ourselves from now until the end of the season. How real are the Indianapolis Colts? How real are the Denver Broncos? Those are a couple of the questions. But I think the biggest question of all of them is, can Buffalo prove it in January? We just don't have the answer to that. And we're not going to have the answer until January. Buffalo is going to make the playoffs. They're going to be a team that wins 12 or 13 games, possibly is the 1 seed and more than likely wins their division. We know all of these things about the Buffalo Bills. We've seen all of these things before when it comes to the Buffalo Bills. But you know, if you are going to get out of the AFC and you're going to represent the conference in the Super Bowl in San Francisco, then you got to beat Kansas City at some point. You got to put your own work in. No one else is going to beat them for you in the AFC, and then you're going to have a random AFC championship game. It's almost become their birthright to go to the AFC championship game. So you know at some point, if you want to get to your final destination, you got to go through Kansas City. So all of these regular season wins and accolades and awards, they're all fantastic. But that is the biggest question in the NFL. Buffalo appears to be Kansas City's equal in almost every single sense except when it really matters most. And eventually, are they going to be able to walk through that door and come out on the other side? I want to play for you guys what Stephen A. Smith had to say. He doesn't think there's any chance that the Chiefs miss the postseason.
You got Andy Reid there. You got Mahomes there. You got Travis Kelce there. You got Rice and Worthy and Thornton and these brothers. I think they'll be just fine. You got a defense that, you know what, they're not shabby. They're not awful. We know this. This is not the Cowboys. This is not the Bengals. It's just a break here or there. And usually when it comes to a Patrick Mahomes, more breaks will go his way than go against him. I'm not worried about the Chiefs like that at all. You want to have a discussion about the AFC West, I get that part. But in terms of them missing the playoffs altogether, no way in hell do I believe that's going to happen. I expect Kansas City to be one of the 7 teams in the AFC in the postseason.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't even begun to let my brain think about the Chiefs missing the postseason. Now, let's see how these next 2 games go. They got the Colts. They got the Broncos. Those are 2 of the best teams in the AFC. Let's see where the Chiefs stand after that. But I've not allowed my mind to go to the place where the Chiefs potentially miss the postseason. It's also important to note their schedule really, really lightens up in December. Now, sure, you play Denver, you play the Chargers. I mean, you got to play teams in your own division. But, I mean, you get the Raiders again, you get Tennessee again, you get Houston. It lightens up a little bit as opposed to you are currently in a stretch where you are playing the 3 best teams outside of yourself in the AFC. One more cut I want to play for you guys. This is Rex Ryan talking about Buffalo, talking about the Chiefs.
This team was built to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. And when I look at it, and we've talked about it before, D-Wood, Andy Reid's the only offensive line coach that doesn't like to run the ball. And to me, it's set up. Buffalo is outstanding in pass coverage and with the pass rush they got with Bosa and things. So it plays right into their hands. That's why I took them to win, because I know Kansas City's not going to run the football. Look, Buffalo can't stop a nosebleed when you run the ball. Kansas City doesn't do it. They're built for Kansas City this year.
That was Rex Ryan on ESPN's Get Up with his thoughts about Chiefs and Bills. Did a big number, 30.4 million viewers. We're going to be joined by Joshua Briscoe here coming up in just a bit. Before that, Rob, you usually do a really good job of finding stories and putting them into the folder and making sure that we talk about them and making sure that I see them. You do a good job producing this thing. I'm looking through our folder, and there's one local story that, oddly enough, has not been put in the system. Did you guys hear what happened at Worlds of Fun? Have you heard this story, Rob? So there was a group of people that were riding the Mamba, the big ride, the Mamba. Well, it sounds to me like a little girl's, her seatbelt malfunctioned, it didn't properly work, whatever it was. This little girl could have died on this roller coaster. But there were people that are around her that just held her down while on the roller coaster to make sure that she stayed on there, making sure that she stayed safe, and she was able to walk off of the roller coaster. Now, you guys always get on me about being too soft to get on these roller coasters. And, oh, you got to live a little bit, and you got to, why? Every month, I can find you a story where something goes terribly wrong on these things. I'm keeping my feet right here. Some people, their job in life is to be the person that jumps in the fight. Some people are the peacemaker. Some people are the hold me back guy. Some people in life, it is their job to hold everybody's belongings while they go get on the Mamba. That's where I come in. Hey, you need me to hold your wallet for you? I'm happy to. Go off. Go ride the Predator or whatever that ride is called, Prowler. Go ride the Zambezi Zinger. There's only like 2 or 3 rides I'm getting on at Worlds of Fun. I'm getting on Fury of the Nile. Rob, they still got the Fury of the Nile? They still got that?
Last check, yep, still got Fury of the Nile.
Okay, I'll get on Fury of the Nile, and I'll get on the Monsoon. I don't know if they still got the Monsoon, but I'll get on the Monsoon. You know what it is? One drop. There's no oop-de-oop. There's no nothing. There's you go up, you go down, ride over. Great. But I got to ride this whole thing that's doing twists and turns, and the seatbelt don't work. Oh, no. No, thanks. Those people should have turned on the Plaza lights. Those two people that saved that little girl's life from the Mamba, they should have got to turn on the Plaza lights. I've been there when the ride malfunctioned and now people have to walk down the roller coaster. Absolutely not. Y'all got it, man. I don't want anything to do with it. Please, please don't put me on one of those things. I don't have any interest on going one of those things, Rob. This doesn't scare you from going on there? In our hometown, in our birthplace, the rides, the seatbelt malfunctioned. This doesn't scare you from getting on these things?
Listen, there's a lot of things in life that if things don't go right, bad things can happen. I still do those things. What if your seatbelt malfunctions in your car? It happens.
But I have to get on I need to get on the car. How else will I get to work?
My point
How else will I travel to the grocery store? I don't need, the Mamba is not essential for life.
I'm just telling you, I would still get on the Mamba. Now, I would do it a little slower, and I would double check all the seatbelts, and the people who were working there probably have a little responsibility of, this didn't work. They should know that. That should be a thing. It's just known commodity. But yes, I would still get on the Mamba.
No, y'all got it. I don't want it. Somebody said they're shutting down the Fury of the Nile. I don't know if there's anything for me at Worlds of Fun anymore.
What's the one, like the Viking Voyager and the little slide?
I'm being serious. I don't think I've ever ridden a roller coaster at Worlds of Fun. Not one single time, other than those ones that I just told you. I've never gotten on one. Not a single one. Which one is for me? Which one? Everybody talks about how bumpy the Timberwolf is. What's that one? Is it the Detonator? They got
Go straight
one.
Up, yeah.
The Patriot. That thing looks scary. I'm not getting on those things. No, absolutely not. I'm right here. That's what I'm keeping. My 2 feet right here on the ground is where I'm at. That's what I'm saying. Somebody said there's more deaths at Arrowhead than at Worlds of Fun. Just saying, you ain't scared to go there. I've been to 2 Chiefs games in Patrick Mahomes' career. I'm not trying to go out there either. Every time I get on the internet, y'all fighting somebody at these football games. You know there's 0 fights at Casa de Carrington. And we ain't fighting over there. Coming up in a little bit, Joshua Briscoe will join us in studio. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with CDOT. Tune in as Nate Taylor of ESPN joins the show in studio every Friday at 4 on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. The Drive, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Anthony Plumbing, technicians you can trust with your house keys. We've still got the crash down in the Triangle 71 southbound as you approach 435 westbound. Be prepared to tap your brakes there. Crash working still 635 southbound. This one before Kansas Avenue in the right lane. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Ready for action, basketball fans? BetMGM, an authorized gaming partner of the NBA, is giving players another reason to hit the court this season. BetMGM is adding extra excitement to every basket, every slam dunk, and every buzzer-beating shot with special promotions, new features, and more. Log in throughout the season to find odds boost tokens, no sweat tokens, and same-game parlay boost tokens in your account to amplify your winnings. Enjoy enhanced product features like Dark Mode 2. Log into BetMGM, an authorized gaming partner of the NBA, all throughout the basketball season to see what's new. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards vary and expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Doug. Here we have the Limu Emu in its natural habitat, helping people customize their car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Fascinating. It's accompanied by his natural ally, Doug.
Limu, is that guy with the binoculars watching us?
Cut the camera. They see us.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Hey, Zach. Are you smiling at my gorgeous canyon view?
No, Donald. I'm smiling because I've got something I want to tell the whole world.
Well, do it. Shout it out.
T-Mobile's got home internet.
Whoa, I love that echo. T-Mobile's got home internet.
How much is it?
Look at that, Zach. We got the neighbors' attention.
Just $35 a month. And you love a great deal, Denise.
Plus, they've got a 5-year price guarantee. That's 5 whole trips around the sun.
I'm switching. Me too.
Yes, T-Mobile home internet for the neighborhood.
Donald, you still haven't returned my weed whacker.
Carl, don't you embarrass me like this, please.
What's everyone yelling about?
T-Mobile's got home internet. And Donald's got my weed whacker.
Yes, T-Mobile's got home internet. Just $35 a month with auto pay and any voice line. And it's guaranteed for 5 years.
Beautiful yodeling, Carl.
Taxes and fees apply. See T-Mobile.com/ISP for details and exclusions.
All right, Gen Z guys, did you know whether you have a college degree or not, your chance of being unemployed is basically the same? Not exactly inspiring.
There's another way. Centric Training helps you get hands-on, real-world tech skills for a career in cybersecurity. No gen ed classes. Just get what you need to get hired. You're trained in just 4 months, not 4 years. Plus, they help you land that job.
And if you're not sure about your future, head to Centric.com, book a call with our friend Russ Mondry. Cybersecurity is where the world's going, so let Centric help you get there.
Hey friends, it's noisy out there with information coming at us all day, every day. It's hard to know what to trust, and the world of wealth management is no exception. That's why UMB Private Wealth Management helps you tune out the noise and tune into what matters most. They'll create a financial plan based on your unique goals, so it's your voice that comes through loud and clear. Get financial clarity. Go to umb.com/privatewealth to schedule an appointment. That's umb.com/privatewealth.
I'm Mitch Holtis, voice of the Chiefs. Everyone develops cataracts naturally as they get older. When your vision is affected by cataracts, you should see my doctor, Dr. Steven Silverstein at Silverstein Eye Centers. Dr. Silverstein is a world-renowned cataract surgeon who performs life-changing laser-assisted cataract surgery with premium lens implants to correct your vision up close and far away. Trust my eye doctor, Dr. Steven Silverstein, Silverstein Eye Centers, 816-358-3600 to schedule an appointment.
Hellsberg gifts checked off the list. Now, time for wrapping. Earrings for mom. A gold bracelet to match the rings Danielle wears every day. And for dad, a new watch, because we all know he needs one. All right, this is gonna be a good one.
Our favorite things for your favorite people. Shop in store at Hellsberg.com for up to 50% off.
Tonight, expect a low of 48 with partly cloudy skies.
Weather brought to you by Staples. Have an easy holiday at Staples. Save on top tech and gaming gifts, shipping supplies and services to get your packages there safely, even custom cards and wrapping paper. Staples. That was easy.
This is your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey Sports Station. Welcome back to The Drive on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. Tune in on game day to hear him 3 hours before kickoff and immediately following the final whistle. Here's the new pregame and postgame host for the Chiefs Radio Network,
Kansas City wins the game!
Joshua Briscoe.
Let's head to the phone lines right now to be joined by a friend of the show. He's on the Chiefs Radio Network, Joshua Briscoe. Briscoe, how you doing today, my man?
Hey, I didn't get traded at the deadline. I figured that was a risk. My agent said the radio network was taking some calls. Obviously, I've not had a great record this season, so I'm just happy to still be here.
When do you think Christmas starts, Briscoe?
Day after Thanksgiving, I think, is my my general. I'll give it December 1st sometimes too, but I guess that's later than the Christmas creep is getting on right now, right? I like Halloween and I like Thanksgiving, so day after Thanksgiving is when I want to put the tree up.
Okay, that's the correct answer. Last week you had a real shaky appearance. I'm happy that we don't have two of those back to back. Let's keep the positive vibes going. Briscoe, let's say you were at the grocery store and somebody recognizes you and they come up to you and they ask you, what happened to the Chiefs on Sunday? Why did they lose? What would your answer be?
I think I would start with the offensive line and say that there was no no reading between the lines of the box score necessary. Some of the next-gen stats were, like, shocking. That Patrick Mahomes was pressured. It was like a 14% increase of any other game since 2020, Chiefs-Bills. Patrick Mahomes had been pressured a significantly higher percentage of the time against Buffalo. That leads to his lowest completion percentage ever. And I think that coincides with a little bit of a strange game plan in terms of what the wide receivers were being asked to do. I think it's a collective effort. I mostly start on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, they couldn't pressure Josh Allen. He had all day, and he had as many touchdowns as incompletions, right? So it's honestly, it's pressure-based on both sides of the ball, first and foremost.
I'm surprised that Patrick Mahomes played as poorly as he played, given the fact of, I know that this wasn't the full offensive line, but that's still a more than capable offensive line. All of his weapons were healthy. We all were applauding this defense and talking about how it reminded us of, MVP Mahomes in 2022. I'm surprised he put together one of his worst games of his career.
Yeah, I was a little bit surprised also. And obviously, it's always hard to unwind all of the collective team elements that go into any of this working, because we are talking not just about the pass catchers and the O-line and Mahomes, but it's also the coaching and the game plan and who you're building this all around. Like, it's a very weird game for Rashee Rice to have 4 catches, and so much of this game plan ends up being not trying to give Kareem Hunt the football on a higher percentage of these plays when you were running the ball successfully. So I think you have to kind of splice it all up. But yeah, I mean, Mahomes was back there behind a line that by the end, in fairness, that offensive line had one healthy starter in Creed Humphrey. Everybody else was either a backup or banged up by the end of that game. And obviously Trey Smith was banged up entering that game. But you didn't get very many, almost any at all, at least when the game was still like close early enough. Obviously, they kept it close to the end. But you didn't get one of those moments where Mahomes just like completely takes over, where he erases a bad rep from one of his linemen and finds somebody enveloped in coverage downfield. I was expecting to get at least one of those moments against the Bills that kind of keeps hope alive. He had a couple of those plays, and even those, like the Hollywood Brown butt cheek down at the 1 yard line that turns into 3 points in a very disappointing sequence. It's a game of very, very thin margins, and I think you can really point the finger at a lot of places, Mahomes included, to say nobody really came out on the right side of those fine margin plays.
So let's talk about that play. Rob and I are on different sides. I think the Chiefs played it correctly. They tried 3 plays from the 1 yard line. It didn't work. They're getting the ball back first in the second half, so you got a chance at the double up, take your profit, and then try to score a touchdown on the next drive. Rob thinks they should have gone for it on 4th down. What side of the coin are you on about how the Chiefs handled the end of the first half?
If you just zoom into that final rep, I think I would have rather tried to run the ball in right there rather than take those 3 points, but it was a fine margin for me. Like I really do hear both sides of that argument. The part of it that has stuck with me now through these last few days, it's really frustrating when you have 1 timeout left. To run the ball on the first play means you are throwing the ball on 2nd and 3rd down, and I think the Bills were certainly expecting a run on 1st down. So I think that was a shotgun run to Hunt on that play as well, if memory serves, which has never been it really, not just him or Pacheco, the entire running game. It's nice to get them under center sometimes and to try to bring that battering ram through. But by running the ball on 1st down, earning your timeout, now you've told Buffalo, here's exactly what we're going to do these next 2 plays. We're going to try to make something happen through the air, where if you throw the ball on 1st down, when you have 20 seconds and a timeout, you throw the ball there, even if it's incomplete, now you still have that threat of running the ball on 2nd or 3rd down, maybe even 4th, depending on what happens on those 2 plays leading up. So the actual sequencing of that has been the thing that stuck with me more than the final field goal decision. But I think they probably shouldn't have ever been in a spot where they had to make that choice from the 1 yard line. And there's nothing sadder than a 19-yard field goal. So I wasn't pulling my hair out at that, but it's an incredibly frustrating way to end the half.
Right now, we're talking to Joshua Briscoe with the Chiefs Radio Network. Briscoe, you and I have been talking about this all season. I'm not surprised at the Chiefs running back room. We kind of knew what it was since the very beginning of the season. Nothing has really happened to change my opinion. I'm surprised at their defensive line and the fact that it has come up so much. And a guy like Josh Allen, you know the importance of getting to the quarterback and how you have to disrupt timing. For him to be 23 of 26 really goes to show you that the Chiefs just didn't do a good job of getting pressure on Buffalo's QB.
Yep, it's another thing now where it gets to the point where it's like, okay, so I guess the conventional wisdom is right sometimes, where if you can just pressure a quarterback with 4, it's going to make everything easier for you and everything harder for them. But it's exactly how simple it is sometimes. And as another one where I think it's multifaceted. Obviously, Allen finding the tight ends in that game, I think, was probably a little bit of a personnel thing. It's a bad day for Drew Tranquill and all of that. But the collective pass rush right now is a real problem, and it's the one thing that I thought that they would do something today before the trade deadline. If it was Colin Saunders or Jermaine Johnson on kind of different ends of the high-low cost spectrum there, I thought somebody would get added in, because you're right. That to me is the thing still that remains the biggest problem on this team altogether. You need, and I was just doing having another conversation and trying to think about, like, what is needed out of this defense the rest of the way now that we know that the roster is set, right? There's no more, well, maybe they'll add, they're not going to. Maybe if Colin Saunders gets cut, you can bring him home fine. But now I think the path forward for this defense in the playoffs, down the stretch, against the Broncos in a little more than a week, I think you just have to have the best you can get from Steve Spagnuolo and the best you can get from Chris Jones. I think you're asking the two Hall of Famers in this conversation to play Hall of Fame level football or to call a Hall of Fame level game plan. Neither of them did that against Buffalo. Jones has had some disappointing stretches this year. Overall, it seems like he's taken a bit of a step back. And if he has a great January, I don't think the underwhelming regular season is going to stick with us, because what needs to happen is that he needs to look like a Hall of Famer in the playoffs. But now you're at a point where you can't say playoffs with certainty. You certainly can't just pencil yourself in at the top of the division or the top of the AFC. So I think Ashton Gelati is a nice player on a good trajectory. George Karlaftis is good. He's not one of those guys that will wreck a sequence, who can just take over a series and it's just the same guy teeing off over and over, or a guy that opposing offenses have to game plan around. I think the closest they have to that is still Chris Jones. And again, this year's been a disappointing start for him, even though I still think he's the best defensive lineman they have right now by a decent margin with Karlaftis as the next man up. It's a frustrating group. They obviously expected more out of Omar Norman-Lott. He's not coming back because he's on IR now. I think there was room to add here, but ultimately, and I know this is really kind of going back now, but this is what happens when you spend a first-round pick on a defensive end that doesn't pan out. It changes your trajectory. It makes you pay that money to Chris Jones. It makes you try to patch it up with Charles Omenihu coming back and this heftier price tag for Mike Dana. They just haven't hit a home run in the pass rush in quite a while. George Karlaftis, very good, very useful, but there's not another takeover player on this roster right now. And again, Jones hasn't been able to do it as consistently as he has in the past.
Right now, we're talking to Joshua Briscoe of the Chiefs Radio Network. So another debate that we have been having today is the trade deadline. And I certainly understand if fans want to see their team go out and make moves, they want that big splash move. I think the Chiefs play the trade deadline correctly. I don't think, there was a player that moved that is in the Chiefs' price range that significantly moves things. It would be different if there was a player that got traded for a fifth-round pick, and we all think, man, I wish the Chiefs had made that move. I don't think that move exists in this trade deadline period. I also think the guys that got moved that do significantly move the needle, I think they're way out of the Chiefs' price range. I think the Chiefs play this trade deadline correctly. What do you think?
I am really curious about where the Jermaine Johnson conversation went. I thought he was kind of an interesting pairing with the Chiefs in the draft in 2022, and he has the team control next year with the fifth-year option. So it would have been still a reasonable number, but also a hefty, I think, $13.5 or so million for him next year. So that would have been the one guy who I think might have been in that Venn diagram of within the price range and moving the needle. But I'm also not going to sit here and tell you, like, no, Steve Spagnuolo definitely would have played him a high percentage of the snaps as soon as he got here, because he just hasn't operated that way, really. I think, like, Melvin Ingram might still be the most successful version of that that we've seen in anything resembling recent years. That was quite a while ago. Maybe Terrell Suggs, I guess, around that same time. I am not surprised they didn't try to make a bigger swing there. And I think the one that I've gotten a little bit frustrated with is all the people who are freaking out. Like, I can't believe they didn't just give up a third for Breece Hall. He's a true difference maker. Well, nobody else gave up a third-round pick for Breece Hall either. Like, I think that the market is teaching you something there when it's not like the Chiefs. To your point, if Breece Hall got traded for a fifth, and you could have said, oh, okay, well, the Chiefs could have given up their fourth-round pick for him. Well, at least you know what the price tag was, and you can do a little bit of that nitpicking. My guess, even though I keep going back to the Jets, because obviously they just traded two young, relatively young, very good, blue-chip caliber defenders as they go into this total rebuild. I I think it would have made sense for the Jets to ultimately just take the final offer on Johnson and on Hall, just because that's where your team is at right now. They don't do that, and I guess Johnson makes sense. So like I said, he'll be there next year too. They can trade him in the offseason, I suppose. I'm not floored. I am just still left a little bit wanting, because I do think this pass rush really needed at least one more player. And Mike Pennell was helpful, but for the defensive line as a whole, I would have liked to have seen something. But to your point, I'm not surprised that they didn't go in at a higher price for the guys that did move, and the guys that didn't move, nobody was willing to meet whatever the Dolphins wanted for Bradley Chubb, for example.
I get why people feel this way, but I think NFL fans want their trade deadline to be like the NBA and Major League Baseball, where in baseball, if you need anything, it's available at the deadline. If your team really needs a seventh inning guy, you can go get one. If your team needs a closer, if your team needs an impact bat, you can always find it in the trade deadline. That's just not really how football works at this point.
Because in football, the picks are so much more valuable than anything that you're moving in those other examples. I think you're absolutely right. In Major League Baseball, you have farm systems. And so you can say, hey, well, we've got these 3 projects that we believe in. And you like, okay, well, here are 3 minor league prospects for your major league starter. And our teams are in different phases. And so that makes sense. Or in the NBA, hey, we want to make this acquisition. Do you want a first-round pick that if it comes in the 20s, if it's top 10, if it's lottery protected, this player is probably not going to be an impact guy in his own right, and you're probably not trading a top 3 likely high lottery pick for help that year because you're a team that's probably playing in the lottery. At the NFL level, it's really interesting. Like for a team like the Cowboys, who make the one of the 2 splashiest moves of the day, I don't know if the Cowboys are going to be any good as they give these picks back to the Jets. So that's why a move like that is very, very rare, because the Cowboys are betting on their own success despite where they're at right now. And the Jets are in an incredibly rare circumstance. Again, probably moving their 2 highest value players in one day, totally resetting the order of their franchise. So the moves that we saw today on that scale with Sauce and Williams to Indy and Dallas respectively, that's a huge, huge outlier. I think the reason you want it to work is because you can say, well, how about a 5th, 6th, 7th round pick? The Chiefs are transactional when it's bringing back Derek Nottie or McCole Hardman or whatever it may be. In this case, again, I'm not sure who the 5th round acquisition was that was going to again move the needle even a little bit on your defensive line. I am still, truthfully, I am stuck a little bit between 2 minds where, one, there's not a move that they should have made today that is so obvious that I'm furious, but I also am not satisfied with the pass rush right now, and I'd have to kind of live with that the rest of the season just like the Chiefs do.
That is Joshua Briscoe joining us on the show today with the Chiefs Radio Network. You'll hear him next week as the Chiefs. They got a very important stretch after the bye week. On the road against Denver, home against the Indianapolis Colts. Right now, the 2 best teams in the AFC. Briscoe, great stuff, man. We'll catch up with you next week.
Appreciate it, guys. Let's do it, and hopefully we'll they can't lose that Broncos game, huh? They just can't.
That's our guy, Joshua Briscoe, joining us on the show today. Always happy to catch up with him. Rob, let's take a quick break from football, and we'll get back to it here coming up in just a bit. So I watched, I would say, a good portion of KU yesterday. I went to the other place after the show. Missouri was on. KU came on, so I had a chance to watch both of them at the same time while I was having a meal. And this is the analogy I'll make. I don't know if you remember, but in the documentary The Pony Excess, one of the interviewees, was telling a story, and he was telling a story about the first time that he saw Eric Dickerson play. And the story that he said was he took one of the boosters to go to a high school football game, and he said, I'm not going to tell you who we're here for. I want you to point out the kid that you think we're here to see. And after watching a little bit, they said, yeah, that guy right there. And he said, that's Eric Dickerson. Well, we now know Eric Dickerson turned out to be one of the greatest running backs in the history of the National Football League. I think if you had never seen Darren Peterson play, and yesterday was your first chance watching him, let's say that last week you didn't get a chance to watch the Louisville game, and this is your first chance seeing him, and everybody has told you how special this kid is. Everybody has told you how good this kid is, and you were sitting down there watching it for yourself, you would believe the hype. I'm not saying you should or shouldn't believe the hype. It's against Green Bay. But everything that they told you he is supposed to be, and if you think that KU is going to turn their season around or turn their program around, whatever phrase you want to use, KU has not been Kansas the last couple of years. They've been a good team. They've been a tournament team, but we all know what the expectations are at Kansas. If you think that they get back to that, then that kid has to be special. And what he did yesterday in 20 minutes, it was easy. Knocking down shots, getting steals, getting teammates involved, athleticism. It was effortless yesterday. Again, it's Green Bay. I'm not here to overreact. And they play North Carolina coming up on Friday. They play Duke coming up in a couple of weeks. They play Syracuse. Like, we'll get a chance to see them against real legitimate competition, and we'll get a chance to see him play against other future NBA players. But if that was your first chance, if you got tickets and you're like, hey, I just want to see what this kid's all about, you left very, very happy and very hopeful about what Kansas basketball can be this year because they got one of the best players in the country on their team.
I know there's a lot of time left, and I know that I have been on this radio show spouting how special he is, and I know it's just Green Bay. But if you watch just last night's game, you can see he moves different.
It's easy.
He's basketball comes very easy to that kid. And it's weird to say, he doesn't look like he's trying, and yet you look up, you're like, he's got 21 points in 21 minutes. Like, it's just, he is just special. And listen, I don't know how this KU season is going to turn out. I was excited about a couple years ago's team, the first Hunter Dickinson team. They beat UConn. I thought, this team's going to be good. They weren't good. They lost in the second round to Gonzaga. They got smoked by Gonzaga. So, like, I'm trying not to make big sweeping, declarations after one game. So I don't know what this Kansas team is, but I know this as a Kansas fan. This team is going to be a lot more fun to watch than a couple of Kansas teams years past because that kid's just fun to watch. If you like basketball, you're going to enjoy watching Darren Peterson play. Carrington, you're not a KU fan by any metric, but when they play North Carolina on Friday, they play Duke, you're going to find yourself being like, oh, that kid's really good, and there's something
I will be
enjoyable.
watching. Yeah, I want to see. I want to see him go up against Kyan Evans, local kid, went to Staley, one of the better point guards in college basketball. I want to see what that freshman does against them. On the road, that's a legitimate test. If you're the number one overall pick, and there's only about 3 or 4 players that are in the conversation to be the number one overall pick, the number one overall pick goes on the road against North Carolina, scores 21 points, and his team wins. Like, we've seen that guy before. So I'm excited. I'm curious. I mean, it's the second time I've seen him play. I've seen him play once in person when he was still in high school, and I watched him for basically the first half yesterday. And so far, he has met the billing. It's easy. Getting to the basket, getting guys involved. It was an effortless watch yesterday. Now let's see what it looks like when the competition ratchets up. But I was very, very impressed in what I saw by Darren Peterson. This is what I've noticed today in our Chiefs conversations. This is what I've noticed. I don't really think that this conversation is about Brett Veach as much. I really don't. I understand why you guys are disappointed. It's the trade deadline. This is your last chance to greatly improve your roster. So I get it theoretically. So if you're saying, what about this guy? And what about this guy? I'm not here to tell you that you're wrong. I might disagree with you, but you're not wrong to feel that way. It feels to me that the conversation we are having is not about your belief in Brett Veach. It's about your belief in Chris Jones. If you think the Chiefs have one of the best defensive linemen in the National Football League, then that solves a large majority of their problems. You got a true game-changing player on the defensive side of the ball. And if you got a true game-changing player, what that means for everybody else is you can't measure that. If you're one of the people that believe that Chris Jones is getting double and triple teamed, then they shouldn't be having the problems they're having defensively then. If you're taking up that much manpower to stop Chris Jones, that means somebody else on that D-line needs to be eaten right now. So guys just got to start winning one-on-one matchups. You are entitled to disagree with what I'm saying. I firmly believe that everything the Chiefs need to win the Super Bowl is currently on their roster. Now, sure, are there parts of the team that I wish they improved? Yeah, but I've been wanting them to improve that since March, and it hasn't happened. I didn't just start feeling this way about running back. I've always felt this way about running back. We've always kind of had some questions about the defensive line. We've always kind of had questions about the linebackers. Like, these are not new things that we are just figuring out for the first time because they lost to Buffalo. We've kind of always known things. If the Chiefs are going to get back to the AFC Championship game, their defensive line has to play much better than what they played on Sunday. Like, that's not even a debatable point to me. Josh Allen was 23 of 26. If that happens in January, I'm sorry, they're losing. They're losing in January if that happens. If everything is the same, you don't force Buffalo into a turnover, Josh Allen, you don't get him off the field, and James Cook runs for 100 yards against you, you lose. It'll be close again, but you will absolutely lose then if that's the case. So all of the questions that we are having about what they should have done this, they should have done that, it really comes down to how much more improvement can they get from their defensive line? Is this the best version you can get of Chris Jones? Is this the best version you can get of George Karlaftis? Is this the best Charles Omenihu that you can possibly get? This is a big-time season for Charles Omenihu. We're talking about a 28, 29-year-old defensive lineman who is on a one-year deal. Rob, he has 10 tackles and 2 sacks. We always talk about contract year being undefeated. I mean, a one-year deal should usually be undefeated. This is the time to ball out. If Charles Omenihu is trying to get paid, whether it's by Kansas City or somebody else, you got to play better. Simple as that. You gave Mike Dana $8 million. You ain't getting much from Mike Dana. So I think they have enough on their defensive line. It's about getting more out of the pieces that you have and trusting Spags to get more out of what you have. This is where you got to coach him up. There are no more reinforcements coming. The Colin Saunders conversation, it's over. Them trading a 6th-round pick to go make a move, it's over. This is who they got on defense. And is that enough? It was enough last year. It was enough last year to get you to the Super Bowl. They have the exact same pieces as last year, minus Justin Reed. They have everybody. Everybody else is back. And do you trust them? Do you trust them enough to go tinker, make adjustments, do what's necessary to get them back to the same place that they've been, 7 consecutive times now in the AFC playoffs, and go into a 4th consecutive Super Bowl? Because the pieces, the foundation, this is the same team that you've been watching and following for the last handful of seasons. We got time to take your phone calls, 913-586-7965. We're going to head to Dallas coming up in about 20 minutes to find out about their day. They had a very busy day going to trade for Quinnen Williams. But we got time to take your phone calls. We're going to keep talking NFL trade deadline. The Chiefs did not make a move. Keep it right here. So drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Men, if the long lines to the bathroom have been holding you back from attending sporting events and you're waking up in the middle of the night dealing with frequent urination, it could be an enlarged prostate. Jeff Montgomery here to talk about the minimally invasive procedure I had that made a big difference. I went to Dr. Brown at Miva Medical, the leader in minimally invasive treatments in Kansas City. The procedure was quick and easy, and I'm very happy with the result. Don't put up with being uncomfortable. Contact Miva Medical. That's MIVA-medical.com.
Get ready, Missouri. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, is coming soon. Starting on December 1st, new customers in Missouri can get up to $300 in bonus bets when you make your first $5 bet. From touchdowns to three-pointers, with FanDuel, any play can be the play of the game. With live betting, you can even get in on the action after the game has already started. All on an app that's safe, secure, and easy to use. Visit FanDuel.com/Missouri to learn more, and you'll be all set to bet when FanDuel goes live in Missouri on December 1st. That's FanDuel.com/Missouri. Play your game of FanDuel, the #1 rated sportsbook app. Must be 21 and present in Missouri. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Offer starts 12/1/25. Excludes customers who redeem pre-launch sign-up offer. Bonus issue is non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit FanDuel.com/RG.
Hi, I'm Dylan, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. As a customer service specialist, I love helping couples find their dream engagement ring. And guess what? I just got engaged, so it was fun to create one myself. First, my fiance tried on a bunch of ring styles and she was drawn to a classic diamond pave setting. Then we looked at different diamond shapes from pear to oval to cushion. She fell in love with a princess cut. At Shane Company, you can create a one-of-a-kind ring and get it in days, not weeks. Because a friend wants you to have a magical holiday proposal. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
DQ presents the sound of your next meal at DQ. It's the sound of savoring a signature stack burger, loving a chicken strip basket, or digging into everyday value with the $7 meal deal. Wait, where is the sound? Am I missing something? Oh, it's quiet because they're too busy enjoying their DQ food. Makes sense. So delicious and so peaceful. Grab your favorite from the DQ food menu today at participating U.S. locations. Only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Morning, Zoe. Got donuts.
Jeff Bridges, why are you still living above our garage?
Well, I dig the mattress, and I want to be in a T-Mobile commercial like you. Teach me, Saldana.
Oh, no, I'm not really prepared. I couldn't possibly. At T-Mobile, get the new iPhone 17 Pro. On them, it's designed to be the most powerful iPhone yet and has the ultimate pro camera system.
Wow, impressive. Let me try. T-Mobile is the best place to get iPhone 17 Pro because they've got the best network.
Nice, Jeffrey.
You heard them. T-Mobile is the best place to get the new iPhone 17 Pro on us with eligible trade-in in any condition.
So, what are we having for lunch?
Dude, my work here is done.
With 24 monthly bill credits on experience beyond for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits ended. Balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Finance agreement iPhone 17 Pro, 256 gigs, $1,099.99 and new line minimum $100 plus a month plan with auto pay plus taxes and fees required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data 1H2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Paid for client betrayal and endorsement. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Give me one good reason why I should call DM Law.
How about 3 great reasons? 1, it's easy. 2, it's fast. 3, the results.
Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. New crash 470 westbound just before Raytown. It is off to the right shoulder, some onlooker delay. You've got to stall 71 northbound. It's past Bannister blocking the left lane. Some onlooker delay there. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Rashi Rice from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
I want to play this audio for you guys very quickly and how I think it ties into the National Football League and the trades that we saw that sent Sauce Gardner to the Colts and partly the Cowboys trade, but a little bit different. So this is Steve Sarkisian. He is the head coach at the University of Texas. He is being rumored for basically anywhere that has an opening. There's a lot of openings right now in college football. Now, I've told you guys this before. Right now, the biggest problem in college football is everybody thinks they should be better than what they are. You're a 6 or 7 win program. You think you should be an 8 or 9 win program, and you will spend $50 million to win one more college football game a year. If you're an 8-9 win team, you think you should be in the college football playoff every year. This is a sport in which we saw James Franklin take his team to the Final Four last year. They had a fourth quarter and overtime lead against Oregon. 2 weeks later, you got fired. You are a couple of weeks away, especially if you don't have championship currency built up. You are a couple of weeks away from the fans saying that you should be fired and you should be replaced. Here is Steve Sarkisian. He's the head coach of Texas.
Everybody wants to fire their coach. Who are you going to hire? There's all these jobs out there right now. Who's everybody going to hire? I don't know. We'll find out. Somebody's got to be the head coach. The amount of, 1 week you're a hero, the next week you're a zero mentality that fan bases and people want to have surely coaches want some security to what they sign up to go do. We work really hard, and I get it. We all want to win, and we're all busting our tails to try to win, and sometimes things don't go your way, especially in our conference. It's tough. And so the idea that coaches don't want some security in the jobs that they take, that doesn't quite make sense to me. It should be like, man, somewhere in here, somebody has got to be willing to say, hey, let's see if this can work itself out. Not every year, not all 16 teams in the SEC are going to go to the playoff. It's just not reality. We're talking about trying to get 4 or 5 teams in this year. Last year we got 3.
I think right now you are seeing the most pressurized football situations that we have ever seen. The playoff has created incredible amount of pressure on everybody that's in the Power Four. Even if you're not a team that thinks you have a playoff chance, you better be inching closer and closer to the playoff every single year, because the moment that you are eliminated, people don't care anymore. Now, how does this relate to the National Football League? If you're Chris Ballard and you're the general manager of the Indianapolis Colts, it's going great right now. You're the toast of the league. You got Daniel Jones, Jonathan Taylor's running the ball incredibly effectively. You hired Shane Steichen, and it's finally working for you. You are one ankle injury from Jonathan Taylor away and one bad month for those same fans that wanted you to win Executive of the Year for you to be fired. You are a month away from that being the case. So if you are equipped with this information and you know that things can churn instantly, you got to always be aggressive. So I think the Colts are taking a closer look at everybody else. Kansas City doesn't appear to be as dominant as they've been in years past. The Ravens are certainly not the team we thought they were going to be. Cincinnati has Joe Flacco as their starting quarterback. I think the Colts are taking a look at the AFC and thinking, why not us? We got a shot. Does anybody think the Colts have lasting staying power? I mean, we know what this is going to happen. Like, I can already tell you how the Colts are going to – I can tell you what's going to happen next year. The Colts are going to finish 8 wins next year. They're going to be one of the big regression teams in the National Football League, and we'll be having conversations about if they made the right decision and should they fire their head coach. Come on now. We've seen this story a million times in the National Football League. We all know what's going to happen. So if you know that and you're Brett Valor, and you know, all right, hey, we got a shot right now. We got to go for it. And if we end up getting fired, what does it matter that I traded my first-round picks? I'm not going to get the opportunity to use those anyway. I think that's what leads to guys being super, super aggressive. You don't have a choice. I think the Colts spent too much to go get Sauce Gardner. I really do. I think Sauce is a good player. I don't know if he's worth 2 first-round picks, but if you're the Colts and you think that this is your shot, this is probably the best chance they'll have this decade to go to the Super Bowl. You got to take that swing. You got to take that shot. Chris Ballard's not going to be able to see this thing through. Come on now. We watch the NFL. We know he's not. We know how quickly things can turn. You could be up and you have a couple of bad weeks. Every week. 2 weeks ago, you loved Matt Nagy. Now Matt Nagy's doing a terrible job. You want him fired. I mean, we do this now. This is the current culture and climate. So when you're up and you got a little bit of currency, man, you got to go for it. So it's not what I would have done if I was the Colts, but I certainly understand the thought process behind the Indianapolis Colts. You got to strike while the iron's hot. And right now, the iron is hot for the Colts. The Colts should be the 1 seed in the AFC playoffs. And if potentially there is a chance that the Colts could potentially void Buffalo or Kansas City, and you only got to beat one of those teams, and it's a home game, you got to take your opportunity to put your absolute best foot forward. And that's what I think the Colts did today.
I think the Colts. I agree with you. Everyone gets fired in sports. I don't really think there's anything such thing as job security in the NFL or even college sports or really pro sports in general. Like, we all love Andy Reid right now. He's one of like the few exceptions, but he got run out of Philadelphia. It wasn't like he was struggling in Philadelphia. There is no such thing as job security in the sports world. So I agree with you. Be aggressive. Try to win. If you get fired, you're probably getting fired anyway. So I get it. As far as the Colts, I do think they overpaid for Sauce, but I understand why they overpaid for Sauce. Like, Carrington, in Kansas City, the pre-Patrick Mahomes era, what's happening with the Colts happened a lot with the Chiefs. It happened in 2013. Remember, the Chiefs started 9-0. They had Alex Smith, Andy Reid was in town. You know, it was fantastic. Love it, love it, love it. the Chiefs didn't go all in to go get another piece, be like, hey, we're going to really maximize the Alex Smith window. The Colts are doing that with Daniel Jones. Now, we'll see what happens. Maybe they're the Dolphins of a few years ago. They beat only bad teams, and they're going to fall short. But I do respect the fact that a lot of times when teams have a Daniel Jones type of quarterback, they don't get aggressive at the deadline. They just kind of ride it out. The Colts are committed to at least trying to be more than just a cute story in 2025.
Yeah, they're just going for it. I mean, I don't think ultimately it is going to work, but Joe Flacco has made a Super Bowl before. I mean, none of us think that Joe Flacco is one of the great quarterbacks in the league. Joe Flacco made the Super Bowl during the Peyton Manning era, during the Tom Brady era. You would have thought he was crazy to suggest that. No, of course not. I mean, Peyton's going to go. Tom's going to go. Ben Roethlisberger's going to go. You would have thought that. That's not how it played itself out. Why can't the 2025 Indianapolis Colts, why can't they be the, 2014, 2013 Baltimore Ravens? Why can't they be that? They're taking their chance. And Joe Flacco never went to another one, never got close to going to another one. You got to take your shot when you got the opportunity. Let's head to the phone lines. Brad called into the show. Hey, Brad, how you doing, man?
Not too bad, C-Dot. Hey, I just want to say long-time listener, first-time caller. I'm going to piggyback off of what Steven Sarkisian said. Who is Iowa, Iowa State, Illinois, Mississippi State going to hire if they fire their coaches every other year? Then I want to know, where's all the panic coming from Chiefs Kingdom? This is the same team that went to the Super Bowl last year with almost the exact same roster. Who are you going to get at the trade deadline to make your team massively better? Where is the panic coming from this Chiefs Kingdom? It's ridiculous. I'll take your phone call off the air, man. Thanks for listening. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
I appreciate the phone call. I don't have a good answer to your question. I really wish that I had a good answer to your question. I don't know. Honestly, I really don't know. Because yesterday, Rob, and maybe I'm just going off the vibe of the text line. Yesterday, I got the vibe from the text line that losing to Buffalo doesn't really matter that much. They do this in the regular season. They don't beat you. The Chiefs were hiding their hand a little bit, and nothing has changed. Well, if nothing has changed, then why is there a panic to now overspend to try to improve the roster? The roster's then good enough. The roster's good enough then. So I don't have a great answer to your question. I really wish I could answer it for you. I really wish I could help. I can't. I don't know. I don't know where this sense of panic is with the Chiefs. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't feel panicked about the Chiefs. And usually you guys call me Buzz Killington. Usually I'm the one that's negative. I feel pretty good about the Chiefs. I mean, they're 5-4. I mean, it feels great as you can feel about in that scenario, but they get Josh Simmons back. They got Rashee Rice back. I mean, this is the team we thought they were going to have at the very beginning of the season. They get a bye week. They're going to head into their most important game of the season as relatively healthy as possible. I think you got to take your chances with the team that you currently have. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Tune in Mondays at 4 to hear the play-by-play voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holtis, on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan.
Sports fans, listen up. 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer, and bladder leaks can be a side effect. That's why Depend is teaming up with the Prostate Cancer Foundation to encourage screening, because health is a long game and it's yours to win. Now, here's the cool part. Through November, Depend is contributing up to $300,000 to prostate cancer research by donating 25 cents for every purchase of Depend shields, guards, and Real Fit products. Void in Mississippi? Learn more at depend.com.
University of Maryland Global Campus offers more than 55 flexible online certificates that provide short-term credentials and real-world skills you can use immediately. With a range of affordable undergraduate and graduate certificates in high-demand fields like business, AI, cybersecurity, data analytics, and healthcare, you can earn credentials quickly to help advance your career. Learn more at umgc.edu. That's umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
More than a few of our patients have talked to me about their first time, but it's not the first time you're probably thinking about. It's the first time that erectile dysfunction ruined the moment. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're over 50, it's likely that you've had that first time yourself. But the good news is that if you're like most men, that first time can be the last time that ED impacts your sex life. At Heartland Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men using protocols with success rates well over 90%. And those treatments have, in most cases, made sex great again for both them and their partners. You could even find that you're performing like you haven't in years. So if ED has been affecting your intimacy, it's time to make the last time that happens the last time that happens. For just $99, you'll receive blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600. Or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You could be on the 50 at GEHA Field for the official coin toss at a Chiefs home game this season. Enter to win at Chiefs.com/GEHA. GEHA is the proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Every now and then I rinse it out, and I need Downy rinse tonight, and I need it more. My kid was the bed and the smell never leaves. I don't know what to do, I'm always in the dark. The sweat in that short smells like a dog park. Downy rinse it tonight.
Downy Rinse fights stubborn odors in just one wash. When impossible odors get stuck in,
Rinse it out.
Makita's built for the pros who show up early, who don't do shortcuts, only precise cuts. With tools built to last, job after job, year after year. Performance that pays off, because when the job calls for the best, you answer. And when you need the best, you call on Makita. Built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
Sports fans, listen up. 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer, and bladder leaks can be a side effect. That's why Depend is teaming up with the Prostate Cancer Foundation to encourage screening, because health is a long game and it's yours to win. Now, here's the cool part. Through November, Depend is contributing up to $300,000 to prostate cancer research by donating 25 cents for every purchase of Depend shields, guards, and Real Fit products. Void in Mississippi? Learn more at depend.com.
University of Maryland Global Campus offers more than 55 flexible online certificates that provide short-term credentials and real-world skills you can use immediately. With a range of affordable undergraduate and graduate certificates in high-demand fields like business, AI, cybersecurity, data analytics, and healthcare, you can earn credentials quickly to help advance your career. Learn more at umgc.edu. That's umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
This report is brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts, your professional parts people.
Get 5 quarts of Valvoline full synthetic motor oil, a Wix filter, and a $15 gift card after rebate at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. New crash, 470 westbound, just before Raytown. It is off to the right shoulder, some onlooker delay. You've got to stall 71 northbound. It's past Bannister, blocking the left lane. Some onlooker delay there. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Welcome to your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, text line 913-586-7965. We had a caller right before the break. I can't remember what his name was. I apologize for not remembering your name. That's 100%. Brad, my bad. Brad, shout out to you, Brad. I hope that you're having a fantastic day, and we appreciate you listening to the show. I wish you had voted for me as best sports talk host in the city, but I came in second place to Bob Fesco. So, Brad, that's your fault and your fault alone. He asked a good question. Why are Chiefs fans so panicked? The text line is giving a bunch of different reasons. One person said that this panic is from new money fans who have never experienced failure before. Someone said maybe this is because our worst start in a decade. it's not their worst start in the Mahomes era. Do you guys remember October of 2019? You guys remember that? Rob, you remember they went on the road and they lost to the Indianapolis Colts. They then followed that up with a loss to the Houston Texans. Now, they beat the Denver Broncos. Do you remember what happened in that win against the Denver Broncos?
I'm trying to. It was something weird.
Patrick Mahomes dislocated his knee in that game. And then you remember Mahomes then missed the game against Green Bay and they lost. They were 5-3 in that stretch. So a little bit better than now, but that was a bad month of October. Almost everything that could go wrong did go wrong for the Kansas City Chiefs in 2019. Shockingly, they won the Super Bowl that year. I can't believe it. How did this happen? 2021. So a handful of years ago, this is in a post-COVID world.
I was just Googling this year. This was a bad start for the Chiefs.
The Chiefs started 5-4 back in 2021. Now, the Chiefs didn't go to the Super Bowl that year. That was the 13-second season they lost in the AFC Championship game. What is happening right now with the Chiefs is not abnormal. It's not abnormal. This is where I think we just have to kind of woo-saw a little bit. Because I was here at the very beginning of the season, and the sentiment when they started 0-2 was, well, these losses don't count. We don't have Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy. Every team would struggle if they don't have their number 2 and number 1 wide receiver. All right. Well, you got Xavier Worthy back. Their offense started coming back. They then got Rashee Rice back. Their offense started to look like it was maybe the best in the NFL, and then they go on the road and lose to a good football team. Why is there panic? Buffalo's good. Buffalo's going to win 12, 13 games. They've won their division 6 consecutive years. They got the current NFL MVP. They didn't go on the road and lose to some Rudy Poos. They lost to a good football team. They're a good football team. So I'm not panicked about the Chiefs. I'm not panicked at all about the Chiefs. I've seen this before. Now, the question is, are they going to get hot after this? Because when the Chiefs were 5-4, you know what they finished the season? 12-5. They got going. They got hot. After that terrible start in 2019, when everything went wrong in October, they were 5-3 at the end of the month. They ended the year 12-4. Can the Chiefs get hot and get going? We'll have our answer in 3 weeks. If the Chiefs can get out of this stretch against the Broncos and the Colts, you guys will get your swagger back. Because you guys had your swagger back a couple of weeks ago. When they put it to the Lions, who are maybe the best team in the NFC, chests were puffed out. You just got to get your swagger back. Buffalo kind of knocked you down a little bit, and that's okay. It happens. But I just don't think there's any reason to feel panic right now about the Chiefs. I mean, I'm unhappy with how they played too, but I'm not now. They should have traded a second-round pick to go get Jermaine Johnson. That seems reactionary to me.
It's weird because I understand where the panic is coming from a little bit. I think it comes from the fact that, okay, the Chiefs lost. We all saw it on Sunday, and it feels like the issues that have been talked about and the winning kind of made go away reemerged. They can't run the ball. The old, boogeyman, poor offensive line play showed up, and they could not stop Josh Allen throwing to tight ends. It felt like a lot of the same. So I understand why there's a panic, but it feels like
I don't think you're saying what the real. I don't think you're saying what the real thing is. Chiefs fans might not want to say it. Denver's good. The Chargers are good. That's what the 100%. Panic is. Nobody wants to come out and say it. And if I got to be Broncos dot or Chargers dot, that's fine. For the first time, Chiefs fans are worried that they're not going to win the AFC West. That's what it is. They're worried they're not going to win the AFC West. And I know it doesn't matter whether you're at home or road, but there is a badge of honor for the Chiefs always hosting the AFC Championship game. There's a badge of honor in doing that. And you also know that it increases your likelihood of winning these games if you're at home. It increases your likelihood of winning. That right now, the Chiefs are for the first time in the division, it feels like they are in a legitimate and true fight for it. A legitimate fight. That's where I think the panic is coming from. That's where I think it is. Someone says the panic is our division and we don't own any tiebreakers. They've only played one. They've only played the Broncos or the Chargers. They haven't played the other teams yet.
They played the Raiders.
Okay, well, that's okay. I'm not counting them. I mean, they're in the division, but they're not in the division.
I mean, it counts in the win column.
With you. But I'm saying
that one does count. And if you forgot, don't worry.
You're right.
Nothing happened.
I did forget that. They have 3 real divisional games left is what they have. They have 3 real divisional games. They have 2 against the Broncos and 1 against the Chargers. That's what they have. They have 3 of those games left. Let's go to Hunter. Hunter, how you doing, my man?
What up, C-Dot? So, yeah, I mean, listen, The panic button is in the drawer. The drawer is not open. My hand is not on the button. So I'm not there yet. But I think that it's exactly what you were saying and exactly what Rob was saying. It's a combination of both, right? So the same issues that we had last year during the Super Bowl that made us look human came back up. The offensive line play, no real answers for linebackers. We've been talking about that for 2 years now. Anytime you put a wide receiver or someone on Drew Tranquil, he's barbecue chicken. And then on top of that, it's exactly what you said. In order for this Chiefs team to get hot, they have to go through the Chargers in Denver, who for the first time, and let's face it, 5-6 years, actually look somewhat decent. So it's the combination of teams finding ways to beat us through the trenches, which have hurt us in the Super Bowl in the past, and also it's the first time the division's ever been competitive.
Oh, and that's a fair point, Hunter. I appreciate the phone call, and I think those are all really, really fair points. I don't think that there is a big, tremendous gap between the Broncos, Chiefs, and the Chargers. I don't think. Now, you have the best quarterback out of those three teams. We know that. You have the best head coach out of those teams, but I now don't want to act like I think Denver is some juggernaut team that you can't overcome. No, that's not where I am. Again, if you are upset today that the Chiefs didn't make a move, I understand it. This is the last chance for them to improve their roster. So today is just the signal that help is not on the way. All of the solutions have to come from their 53-man roster. It has to come from their evaluation, their scouting, their development. But I do want to remind you guys, this is the same team that won 15 games last year. This is the same team that has been to, for the most part, this is the same team that has been to the last 3 Super Bowls. There is not a lot of drastic changes. So I'm going to lean on their experience, their ability to get over the hump, and I trust their ability to figure this thing out. Now, I don't think they're running away with the division. I don't think they're running away with the AFC. But if you were telling me that right now all of these teams feel very even and the Chiefs are one of the teams in the mix, I'll take my chances with the best quarterback in the conference, the best coach in the conference, and by far and away the most experience of any team in the AFC. We can keep this conversation going. The trade deadline has come and gone, and the Chiefs, they have not made a move. How does that make you feel? 913-586-7965. We'll talk about it next. Keep it right here, so drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Duke's Mayonnaise. We've got a crash 435 northbound. It's before Midland. The left lane is blocked. And then down in the triangle 71 northbound past Bannister, that stall is blocking the left lane. And on-liquor delay southbound 71 there. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Ready for action, hockey fans? BetMGM, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, is giving players another reason to lace up and hit the ice this season. BetMGM is adding extra excitement to the goals, the checks, the face-offs, and the breakaways with special promotions, new features, and more. Log in throughout the season to find odds boost tokens, no sweat tokens, and parlay boost tokens in your account to amplify your winnings. Enjoy enhanced product features like Dark Mode 2. Log into BetMGM, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, all throughout the hockey season to see what's new. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards vary and expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Brought to you by Duke's Mayonnaise.
This is the Duke's country song. It's a song about the best mayo. It has a yellow lid, and its full name is Duke's Mayonnaise. Get Duke's Mayo in store. It's got twang.
Whether you're digging a pond, clearing brush, grading land, or doing demo, Foley Equipment, your local Caterpillar dealer, is your one-stop shop. Buy or rent, Foley has the machines to get it done. Lease the Cat 300.9 mini excavator for just $399 a month and take advantage of other limited-time demo and purchase incentives. Terms and conditions apply. Visit your Foley Equipment location or go to FoleyEQ.com. That's FoleyEQ.com.
FanDuel is putting you in control right from NBA tip-off because every day to start the season, you get to choose your reward. Take your shot with the Profit Boost token. You can play it cool with the no-sweat bet, or you can get a little backup with the Bet Back token. So what I like to do is I like to pick 3 players that I think are going to score at least 20 points. It gives you something to cheer for. It gives you something to root for. So you can put a little bit of extra sauce on it with the Profit Boot token, or you can just play it easy. You can play it relaxed with that no sweat bet. Whatever your pick is, whatever your strategy is, get into the game and play it your way. Head to FanDuel.com/KFNZ to make it your choice. FanDuel is an official sportsbook of the NBA and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expirations, league requirements, and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement. Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Get out with your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit kansasgamblinghelp.com.
You know, there's millions of people without the health insurance they need. I get it. You feel like it's too pricey, a headache to deal with. You deserve something better. And better health. We're on a mission to get everyone high-quality, affordable health insurance. You have health insurance needs. We have plans with low out-of-pocket premiums, with in-network preventive care at no cost to you, and a network of local doctors and hospitals. So if you're still shopping for health insurance, go to ambetterhealth.com/enroll to get your free, no-obligation quote. That's ambetterhealth.com/enroll. For coverage to start January 1st, you must enroll by December 15th. Find the plan that's right for you right now. ambetterhealth.com/enroll. Ambetter Health, on a mission for better. Ambetter Health is the brand name for health insurance products underwritten by subsidiaries of Centene Corporation. Go to ambetterhealth.com to see offerings in your state. This is a solicitation for insurance.
Hey, it's Rex here with RexBuysKC.com, your local KC home buyer. If you own a property in the Kansas City or surrounding area and want to sell it fast and at a fair price, write this number down, 816-330-6000. I'm a private real estate investor, not some hedge fund or large national chain. My family and I live right here in KC. I can pay cash and close on your timeline, even in as little as 3 days. Here at RexBuysKC.com, we are improving Kansas City one house at a time. I buy inherited houses, vacant houses, foreclosure houses, behind in payment houses, my tenant won't pay the rent houses, and properties that need complete rehabs. Do you own a house that's trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at this number, 816-330-6000. That's 816-330-6000, or go to RexBuysKC.com. That's RexBuysKC.com, and I look forward to working with you.
Chiefs coverage sponsored by Park & Go, your holiday travel made easy with all covered airport parking.
Heading out of town for the holidays? Make travel easy with Park & Go. Enjoy all covered parking, free shuttles, and luggage help that'll have you feeling merry and bright. Reserve your spot now at bookparkandgo.com. Happy holidays from Park & Go.
Fesco and Dusty, weekdays 6 to 10 on Kansas City's FM sports station. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
All right, congratulations on getting through your 9 to 5. Thank you so much for listening. It is The Drive. We got a lot to get into in the 5 o'clock hour. So this has been the debate for the last handful of hours. I don't have a problem with what the Chiefs did at the deadline. The Chiefs didn't do anything at the deadline. I think you have to factor in a couple of things. Asking price matters. We saw 2 major players get traded today. Sauce Gardner got traded. He went for 2 first-round picks. Quinnen Williams got traded. He got traded for a second and a first-round pick. Now, I got to be realistic. I don't think the Chiefs were swimming in that market. There was one defensive lineman outside of Quinnen Williams that got traded for a top 100 pick. It was Jalen Phillips. We talked about him. Jalen Phillips tore his Achilles 2 seasons ago. He tore his ACL last season, and is on an expiring deal. The Eagles gave up a 3rd-round pick for that player. I would not have done that. So I can't come on here and be upset about a trade happening or not happening that I wouldn't have approved and wouldn't have been a fan of. We didn't really see much other movement today. The Chiefs are not the only contender, I'm guessing, that if we turned on a Buffalo station, I'm sure they're mad they didn't go get a wide receiver. If you turn on Green Bay, I'm sure that we could find other fan bases around the NFL that feel exactly how you guys feel. There was a move to be had, and it didn't happen. But this wasn't a super active deadline aside from those 2 massive moves. If a top 5 corner in the NFL gets traded, that's a big-time trade. Quinnen Williams, one of the best players in the league at his position. The Chiefs were not in the we're giving up a first-round pick market. They were much more in the fine value. I don't think there was value to be had. Now, a couple of good points I think were made on the text line. Text line 913-586-7965. C-Dot, I don't think there's panic among the fans. We had Brad on the show. He called in a couple of minutes ago, and he said, hey, why is there so much panic with the fan base? So that's what this is in response to. I don't think there is panic amongst the fan. There's more confusion. In the past, when there was a weakness, Brett Veach aggressively addressed it. The Chiefs this year seem to be taking it easy, and they plan on turning the heat up come the second half. But when there was a clear weakness and Veach didn't address it, fans are confused. I just disagree with that. I don't think Veach has ever really been aggressive at the deadline. Like, I wouldn't consider trading a 5th-round pick for DeAndre Hopkins to be aggressive at the deadline. That was a necessary, needed move. I just wouldn't use the term aggressive. The Chiefs have very rarely been the team to make one of those blockbuster moves in season. Before the season, sure. They have definitely made big-time trades before the season. This is just where I am on the other side of this. And we say this on the show all the time. There are March and April problems. That was the time to address running back. That was the time to address the defensive line where you were going to make a noticeable move. It's free agency. It's the draft. This is when 95% of big-time player movement is going to happen. The Chiefs made their decisions during that point. They decided to bring back a lot of their same pieces, and when they took swings outside of that, we now see how they worked. Jalen Moore, I think Jalen Moore was a good signing. I can now go back and say, you know what, I might have been wrong about that. Now, I didn't know that their left tackle was just going to take a month off in the middle of the season, but having Jalen Moore as a break-in case of emergency option, he's an expensive option, but you need to probably be 6, 7, or maybe 8 deep at offensive line. So having an offensive lineman that even though he doesn't start, but could play left tackle and right tackle for $21 million is a really, really nice insurance option. An expensive one, but a nice one. So I'm willing to go back and say, hey, maybe I was wrong when it came to that. They spent decent money on Christian Fulton. Christian Fulton has not played in a Chiefs game since the Eagles game. That was week 2. We're heading into week 11. He has not been on the field. So this offseason, when the Chiefs could have spent that money on Calais Campbell, who was a free agent, when they could have spent that money on other defensive linemen that could have helped you, that you didn't have to frantically now look at the trade deadline to go answer these questions, the Chiefs decided to they spent money on one defensive player that was outside their circle. It was Christian Fulton. He's not inside their circle. When they needed running back help, we all knew they needed running back help. This news did not just pop up. We've had this information for months now. Hey, they don't got enough at running back. Oh, Carrington, shut up. They don't run the ball. Okay, I kind of think they need another running back. Now it's frantic. Now it's Christmas Eve, and now hold on, it's over. There are no more Turbo Man dolls. You had a chance to get a Turbo Man doll. Your kid better play with Twister or Connect 4. You had your chance. We kept saying, hey, look, free agency. Go get one of these guys. You didn't get anybody then. In the draft, hey, this class is really, really good. I would maybe get one of these guys. Oh, they waited till the 7th round to go get somebody. So some of this is the Chiefs, they've created this situation in some aspects. Now, I believe they have all of the answers to get themselves out of it. Their run game just isn't improving a whole lot between now and then. I'm sorry. It's not getting a whole lot better. What they need is Isaiah Pacheco to come back. That's what they need. They need 2 things. I guess 3 things. Number one, they need Isaiah Pacheco to come back. 2, they need Kareem Hunt to stay healthy. They need this version of Kareem Hunt the rest of the season. They have to find a way to get more from Brashard Smith than what they currently get. Now, some of that is just usage. They don't give him the ball a whole lot. You can't really do much. And when they've given him the ball, at least when they've tried to give him carries, he doesn't do a whole lot with them. He's averaging 2.8 yards per carry. He's been bad when they've tried it. So what they need to do is get more out of the pieces that they have on both the offensive and defensive side. You got a chance to get a different version of Brashard Smith in the second half of the season. That's like an addition to me. He has 30 carries in the first 9 games of the season. 14 of them came in the Raiders game. Outside of a blowout when they basically didn't care in the second half, they have not tried to give Brashard Smith the football in terms of carries. That could be a big help for them. When it comes to the defensive line, if there is any team that knows this D-line, they've had all these guys for years. These are the same guys you know. The same guys that have done Chiefs Kingdom, the same guys that have had Pop-Tarts by Taylor Swift that have been around. You know all these guys. You got to get more out of them. You got to get more out of Chris Jones. You got to get more out of George Karlaftis, more out of Charles Omenihu. Where's Charles Omenihu been? Charles Omenihu has 2 sacks so far this season. This was supposed to be a big-time year. No suspension over his head, no injury over his head, 1-year contract, comfortable system, familiar system. You know your teammates. You know the scheme. This is year 3. You're expecting Charles Omenihu to go out and put up 7, 8, 9 sacks. When they lost to Sean Wharton, that's who you were expecting to step up and pick up that production. It hasn't happened. Mike Dana, you paid him to stay around. He hasn't done anything. So I understand why fans wanted them to do more and wanted them to make more moves. They got enough. They got enough on this team. They do. They got enough. They got enough on their offensive line. They got enough on the defensive line. They got enough at wide receiver. They got enough at quarterback. There is far more than enough talent for the Chiefs to win the AFC West, to win the AFC, and get back and win another Super Bowl. No, they're not a perfect team. There was not a trade they were going to make at the deadline that was going to make them a perfect team. But they are one of the better teams in the AFC. They have the best quarterback in the AFC. They have the best coach in the AFC. So I just can't find myself overreacting that they didn't trade a 6th-round pick to go get a defensive lineman that might not have helped them anyway.
I feel like I understand why fans are a little bit upset. I do. I disagree with them. I agree with you. I understand why fans are upset, though. And it's because at 5-4, it feels like the Chiefs are vulnerable. And on the heels of a Super Bowl where they got smoked, like just never were competitive, and a season last year where it felt like, maybe in hindsight we can say, a little bit of smoke and mirrors. They were undefeated in those 1-score games because they're currently winless in 1-score games. It feels like, oh man, the earth is, shaking and everything's crumbling around me. In reality, the Chiefs are fine. Are they a no doubt, hey, pencil in, you're headed to Santa Clara team? No. But no team in the NFL is that this year. Whoever you think the best team in the NFL is, there is not a guarantee that they are making it to the Super Bowl. So the Chiefs are just regular. And I think the fact that Chiefs are regular or appear regular is what has shook fans a little bit. And they felt like today was their day for the Chiefs to get back to being immortal. Get a Breece Hall, get a Quinnen Williams, get a Sauce Gardner. I'm just naming Jets players now, and get back to that immortal feeling. I think Chiefs fans are what they're experiencing is they feel like the rest of the NFL for the first time in maybe 18 months, and they don't like it. And they thought today was their chance to fix that feeling.
And I think that's a very fair point. Where I would counter is the Chiefs team that we expect to take the field against the Broncos, that is the team that we spent all summer talking about. That's the team. Josh Simmons back at left tackle. I guess we'll see what happens with Jawan Taylor, but you guys have been trying to get Jawan Taylor out of here for 2 years, so it either will be Jawan Taylor or Jalen Moore on the other side, and we think Jalen Moore is going to be next year's right tackle. We believe they'll have Isaiah Pacheco back. That's how they've spent it, right? They've spent it like Isaiah Pacheco will be back for that game. So they will have their full complement on offense and their full complement on defense in a game they desperately need to win. That's the Chiefs. And that team has been pretty good over the course of the last 5 seasons. I'm not telling you something you don't know. That team has been pretty good, and there haven't been a whole lot of teams that have beat them when they've been a fully healthy bunch. We think they are going to be fully healthy. I also think it's important to note this, Rob, and I know we got to shout out Baker University. Only one contender in the AFC got better today, and it's probably the contender that you believe in the least. I don't care what move the Colts could have made today. It doesn't change the fact that Daniel Jones is their starting quarterback. It doesn't change it. Sauce Gardner is great. Jonathan Taylor is great. It does not change the fact that of all the teams that are going to make the AFC playoffs, they have the quarterback that you believe in the least. Buffalo did not make a move today. Buffalo could have used a wide receiver. Why didn't Buffalo go get Jacoby Myers? Why didn't they go get him? You could have got Jacoby Myers for nothing. What was he, a 4th and a 6th? You could have got Jacoby Myers. Did Pittsburgh make a move today? Did Baltimore make a move today? Did Denver make a move today? So did the Chargers made a move just purely out of necessity? The Chargers lost their left tackle and their right tackle. They don't have a tackle. You got 3 of them. They got 0 of them. So all of these teams that we're talking about, only one of those teams got drastically better today. And again, it's the team that they have the quarterback that you believe in the most. There is nothing, I don't care where that game is played. You guys will not be worried about the Colts coming into it. Not the modern day Colts. You'll be telling me stories about Lynn Elliott and no punt and Andrew Luck. You guys are not worried about the 2025 Colts that got Daniel Jones on their team. Not at all. So I know it sounds crazy for me to say this. I know it sounds crazy. I'm on the side of Brett Veach here. I think Brett Veach made the right decision today. I don't think he overpaid. We've been asking this question now for 2 weeks. Did you want them to make a move or a transaction? A lot of you just seem mad that they didn't make a transaction today when there was no move to be had. There was not a single move to be made if you were the Chiefs today. And I'm happy they didn't just spend a 6th-round pick to get patted on the back on the text line or Twitter. That's not building a roster that can win a championship. Not at all. I'm happy that they played things the way that they played it. All right, Rob.
Your workday is over.
Oh, yeah.
You're headed home, and now you're stuck in traffic. Time to get caught up on the biggest stories in Kansas City and around the country with CDOT and Rob. It's time for the hits. Number 1.
As always, Karen, the hits are brought to you by Baker University. Make your next era orange at Baker University, the first university in Kansas and ranked number 1 in return on investment among private universities in Kansas. Baker University, forever in our orange era.
All right. What do you want to make hit number 1? Part of me wants to make hit number 1 the story about the young boys and how they're not talking to the young ladies. That's part of me wants to make that hit number 1, Rob. What do you want to make hit number 1?
Yeah, I was going to make it Sauce Gardner, but if the young
No, you want to make it about Sauce Gardner, I'm fine. I feel like that's a very important hit, too. Something wrong with the youth of today. All right. This is the thing about Sauce Gardner. This is my opinion on Sauce Gardner. I really I love the move for the Jets. I understand the move for the Colts. Maybe that's the best way of putting it. I think they spent too much for Sauce Gardner, but I understand why they did it. If you look at the AFC right now and you're trying to look at it through Indianapolis's perspective, they think they're the best team in the AFC. They have to think that. They've been the best team so far through the first 10 weeks of the season. So if you are equipped with this information where you feel like you are the best team and then you're taking a look at it, and again, looking through their eyes, Kansas City is not the team they were last season. Baltimore is not the team they were last season. The Bengals are not a legitimate threat in the division anymore. And you're looking at Denver, the Patriots, Pittsburgh. Now, obviously, Kansas City and Buffalo are there in the mix. But if you're the 1 seed, you are possibly in the situation where you don't have to play Kansas City and Buffalo, where you could potentially only play one of those teams and have them at home for the AFC Championship game. You'll take your chances with that coin flip. You will. You'll take your chances. Now, I think you are going to lose that game regardless of which team you play, but I understand wanting to take your coin flip, wanting to take your dice roll. So I think that's the Colts side of it. We feel we are 1 impact defensive player away. Let's put our chips in the middle of the table and let's try to go to the Super Bowl. Bill Simmons always talks about like new owner theory, where you get a new owner and now the new owner wants to do something big. No, they got a new owner. And the owner has shown she's going to be very, very hands-on. She's on the sideline, got the headset on and taking press conferences and answering questions. I like their owner now. So I get it. Hey, this is my first chance. I feel like we got a shot. I'm trying to get out of my dad's shadow. Let's make a big-time move. They go get Sauce Gardner. And for the money standpoint, it's really not that bad. They owe Sauce Gardner $14 million a year for the next 3 seasons. That's not that bad of a contract. Now, the draft pick compensation is immense, but for the money aspect, it's not that bad. If you're the Jets, I mean, I don't think you had a choice. If the Colts were serious, and they obviously were serious, and they were going to give you 2 first-round picks and a former second-round wide receiver, you had to make this trade if you were them. You're not going anywhere. You're the Jets. You're not good. In fact, you might be the worst team in the National Football League. You stink. You're not going anywhere in 2025. You're probably not going anywhere in 2026. But you know what you need? You need all the ammunition in the world to go get your quarterback. And if you want to feel inspired if you were the Jets, why can't the Jets be the Lions? Which sounds like a crazy question to ask. But why can't they be the Lions? Look at what the Lions did over a 4-year stretch. The Lions went out and got Jahmyr Gibbs. They got Amon-Ra St. Brown. They got Jamison Williams. They got Aiden Hutchinson. They made move after move after move. They hit on draft picks. So the Jets have loaded up on draft picks, and they're going to take their swing at it. I'm guessing they'll get their quarterback at some time in the next 18 months. They're going to spend a high draft pick on a Ty Simpson, a Mendoza from Indiana, Arch Manning, whoever they think that person is. And then we got more than enough assets, whether it's with what we got back from Sauce Gardner, whether it's what we got back from Quinnen Williams, and we got all the assets to try to build this into a really, really good football team. I understand the logic for the Jets. If anything, the Jets got a plan. There's a lot of teams right now in the National Football League that don't have a clear plan. I don't know what the plan is for the Cowboys, to be completely honest with you about it. Other than be interesting and be talked about on First Take, I don't know what the plan is for the Cowboys. The Jets got a plan at least. Now, can they execute the plan? Can they see the plan through? That's a completely different thing, but they got a plan. So I at least applaud the Jets for having a plan. Let's just see if the plan works.
Number 2.
All right, Carrington, let's talk about what you wanted to talk about. Hit number 1 will make hit number 2.
Yeah, this would be the number 1 story in the city right now.
Maybe the number 1 story in the country.
Guys, maybe the world, honestly.
There you go, world. Guys just aren't talking to girls the same way they used to talk to girls.
I don't know what's wrong with these young boys. This is from the Today Show. Listen to what they said.
45% of men 18 to 24 have never asked a woman out in person. I think that no man wants to be that guy. One of the key things I think dads have to teach their sons is how to express romantic interest while making the other person feel safe.
Rob, we have failed the generation behind us. You're telling me that 45% of boys, men, young men, between the ages of 18 to 24, they've never asked a girl out? This is the college age. You're telling me that half of the young boys walking around at the University of Kansas, I don't know what y'all little area is. Y'all got like a quad or like a, like a central area. I don't know.
We do. Wesco Beach, but doesn't matter. We got one.
All right. So I imagine there's young boys hanging out here at this area of Kansas. And I'm assuming that there's some pretty girls that are walking around, and they're also doing the same thing. You're telling me that half of the boys at this age are afraid to go up to Sarah and start up a conversation with her and ask how she's doing, ask her interests, who she be with, things that make her smile, what number to dial? That's what you're telling me, Rob? How we failed these kids this much? Have the phones taken over that much where the kids have lost the ability to be able to speak to one another? Or maybe they're just afraid to take shots. Is that what we're hearing? You're telling me the fellas are afraid to go up to a girl, put their best line on her, put their Mac down, and they're afraid that she might say no? That's the game. Everybody misses. Patrick Mahomes, the greatest quarterback we've ever seen. He's been blown out in 2 Super Bowls. Tom Brady's lost in the Super Bowl. I've seen Steph Curry miss threes before. You're going to miss, but you got to keep shooting. Have we ruined these kids so much that they're afraid to go up and talk to each other? That's not a crazy number to anybody else. 45% of boys between the ages of 18 and 24, they've never asked a girl out in public? Rob, we've completely lost recipes if that's the case.
I think it's the phones. That's my working theory. Now listen, this is going to sound like the Steve Buscemi, how do you do, fellow kids? Because I don't really know what you do when you're 18 to 22 nowadays when you're trying to talk to a girl. Based on the text line, we talked about this earlier, nowadays it's like, hey, it's mutual friends on Snapchat and you just add each other and you can just watch their stories and stuff. If that's the case, I guess that's what people are doing. But I think people are more likely to do that than actually go up and talk to a girl. Like, I will use KU because I went there. If you're at the Hawk or the Wheel or Bullwinkles and you're like, oh man, that girl over there looks attractive, I might go there and talk to her. You're so scared to talk to her that you'd rather be like, all right, hold on. I think I know that person in their sphere. That person knows another person. I'll just try to find them through Snapchat and add them, and then that'll be my play. That's a terrible play. Walk over there, say hello. Now, you're right. What was Therese always say about gunfighters? Sometimes they get hit.
That's the game.
That's the game.
100%.
Rejection sucks. No one likes rejection. Everyone listening right now has experienced rejection at some level. Maybe not romantically, maybe professionally, maybe personally. It happens. You get told no, but it makes you better. It makes you stronger. The idea that we're just going to Snapchat each other now is just sad.
Yeah, man. I don't know what's going on, man. I'm happy we made that the second hit, man. We got to do better. We really do. We got to do better. We really do. We got to do better. We got to start giving the youngins, we got to start giving a little more game, a little bit more knowledge.
Yeah, but how do you teach that? Hey, put your phone down? Like, what's the game plan to fix the problem? Whap phones out of their hand and push them into a group of people? That doesn't seem problematic at all.
That's a good point. I don't know. I guess I just don't understand. I don't understand.
Like, you can't force a kid who's 19 to be like, hey, I want you to call the landline for this girl. That's not a thing.
Yeah, I guess I don't understand how you're in college, you're out, you're dancing, they're playing. I don't know what the kids are listening to. What are they listening to? Lizzo? I don't know what's going on. Taylor Swift? You're sitting there at the bar. She's pretty. Hey, can I get you something to drink? You spark up a conversation. Hey, we should hang out sometime. This just seems like normal college stuff. You're telling me that we've lost this? This is somehow, Rob, this is your fault. I don't know how this is your fault, but the same way that I came in second place with Best Sports Talk Host, how that's your fault, how you didn't do more to help me be the #1 sports talk host according to Pitch Magazine, I'm blaming you for this. This is a Rob Brenton problem, and I'm not going to rest until you solve it. We'll get back to the trade deadline. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for K-State Athletics, 96.5. The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Yellowstone. The epic ranching drama is now a Kansas Lottery scratch ticket and your ticket to experiences you can't get anywhere else. Top prize of $25,000, plus second chance drawings that let you live the show. Attend a premiere or visit the set, but know what you're getting into. Just kidding. This is a game, not the show. Play Yellowstone. See KSLottery.com for details.
Hey, Chiefs fans, Crown Royal is the official whiskey of the Kansas City Chiefs. And this season, it's not game day without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. Whether you're at the tailgate, in the stands, or watching from home, Crown Royal is the reason and the reward for coming together. Grab a glass with the Crown Royal rig at a stadium near you, because we'll be sharing the generous spirit with fans across the country. Crown Royal, fueling game day with a generous spirit. Visit www.crownroyal.com/Royal Rig for more on the Crown Royal Rig Tour. Please drink responsibly.
Chiefs checking for Community America is for real fans, because real fans know tap to pay is the ultimate play. Zero fees mean you win with ease. And big savings at the team store means you can score more. And who doesn't love scoring more? Community America is investing in helping Chiefs fans step up their financial game. Get started today at CommunityAmerica.com. Member owned, open to all. Community America Credit Union, invested in you.
The Chiefs have been scoring a ton of points lately, and that means I'm saving a ton of money at Hy-Vee. And now I have even more reason to cheer on the Chiefs, because I score big fuel savings when I shop Hy-Vee the day after any Chiefs game. Win or lose, I'll earn a fuel saver discount equal to the Chiefs score based on the amount I spend. If the Chiefs score 35 points, I save 35 cents a gallon when I spend $35 on groceries. So the more we score, the more I save, only for my friends at Hy-Vee.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. Time for Hy-Vee's holiday baking sale. Make your list and check it twice. Time to stock up on the sweetest deals of the year, like Hy-Vee sugar, $1.99, brown sugar, $1.48, Hy-Vee butter, $2.49, peanut butter, $1.88, and don't forget the Hy-Vee pumpkin pie filling, just 88 cents. Jump in your sleigh and dash away this Friday through Sunday at Hy-Vee.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
The Fed just cut interest rates again, and that means now is the time to refinance with Golden Oak Lending. Lower rates mean lower payments, and our customers are saving hundreds every month. Plus, you can make no payments until next year. And if your loan doesn't close, we'll pay for your appraisal. Call 913-890-GOLD today and start saving.
Golden Oak Landing, cured my blues.
NMLS number 114937.
Nationwide is so much more than a great insurance company. They're one of America's largest financial services companies. Like how I'm more than just Peyton Manning. I'm also motivating Manning. When I say insurance, you say financial services. Insurance.
Financial services.
Insurance.
Financial services.
Now when I say nationwide, you say is both. Nationwide.
Is both.
Nationwide.
Is both.
For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Investment Services Corporation, member FINRA, Columbus, Ohio.
Too many tools, too much stress, and way too many bills.
Odoo replaces it all. One connected platform for every part of your business, so you can work faster, smarter, and for less. Odoo, the only software you'll ever need. Try it free today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-583-5795.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-583-5795. That's 800-583-5795.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Got a crash now near Independence, 435 northbound, just before Front. It's the right lane blocked. Also still working is Kansas side of things, 70 westbound. The crash at 57th off to the right shoulder. All right, Val, with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Trent McDuffie from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, Rob. Let me ask you this question. And I don't have the answer to this, so this is just me throwing it out there. You guys can tell me otherwise. 913-586-7965. Do you think people wanted to trade for Breece Hall, or do you think people wanted to sign Breece Hall? Because I think those are two very, very different things. Now, I wasn't interested at Breece Hall at the price. I'm not willing to spend a top 100 pick on a rental. I wasn't super interested in doing that. But if you were telling me, then our plan is we're willing to sign Breece Hall to we're willing to trade a third round pick. And then next year, we want to spend significant resources to improve the running back room. That's a very different conversation. Now, I would say that is overcorrecting a problem when all I really want you to do is spend a decent draft pick on one. Sometimes I think we have these conversations and it's like, well, they tried that. They got Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Well, there's 7 rounds of the draft. You don't have to get one in the first round. You also don't have to wait until the 7th round to go get a running back. They let you take them in the 3rd. Why can't the Chiefs just take a nice, solid 3rd round running back? I mean, they do that at wide receiver. They do that at corner. They do that at defensive end. Why can't they just take a really good third-round running back? R.J. Harvey, for example. You and I really liked R.J. Harvey this year. Thought he made a lot of sense. If the Chiefs had R.J. Harvey in addition to what they have, we wouldn't be having conversations about their running back room. We wouldn't be having them if that was the case. Now, I know Cam Scatterbo got hurt, but he was a player that you and I thought made a lot of sense for Kansas City. So that's why I asked the question about Breece Hall. Was it just, we're willing to do whatever it takes, we'll pay the cost, I don't care? We always use the buying headphones at the airport analogy. You had a chance to get headphones before you drove to the airport. You're now at the airport. You realize you got an 8-hour flight, and you were not sitting on that 8-hour flight with no headphones. So you were willing to spend the $50 for the Skull Candy headphones that you could have got for $10. Now you're willing to spend $50. Maybe that's what we're talking about here. But if the Chiefs weren't interested in paying Breece Hall long-term and past this season, I just didn't really have any interest in making a move to go get Breece Hall. And clearly, nobody else in the league went out and made that move either. We had Briscoe on the show earlier, and he made a really fair point. If Breece Hall had got traded for a 5th-round pick, we'd be having a very different conversation today about the acquisition cost to go get him. But that's not the conversation that we're having. Rob, was there a player that was traded today that you either wanted them to go get or you think was realistic for them to go get? Because I don't think that player got traded this trade deadline.
I 100% wholeheartedly agree with you. There was not that player this deadline. I mean, I guess the closest thing would be Jalen Phillips. We talked about it yesterday on the show. His acquisition cost was just too high, at least for me, and clearly for the Chiefs too, because they did not give up a third to go get him. To answer your question about Breece Hall, I think fans are more upset they didn't trade for Hall than they are the contract. I think Breece Hall has become some sort of mythical cure-all to the Chiefs' running woes. And he's probably the best running back on the roster if they had traded for him. But I think Chiefs fans were just so enamored with that guy's better, go get that guy, that they're upset they didn't. I also think fans are upset by this, and I'm trying to find the tweet. I believe it was Connor Hughes.
I actually have the audio here. I'm about to send it to you. Let's play it straight off the computer. I actually just found it. So just pull this up. You can play it straight off the computer if you want. I'll answer this text, and then we'll just do that. Text line 913-586-7965. C-Dot, I wish the Chiefs would have got Jalen Phillips. Yeah, the Jalen Phillips move, that's just not one that I feel about. Now, if you feel that way, it's perfectly fine. I don't feel that way about Jalen Phillips. I feel like they've signed Jalen Phillips before and got him for significantly cheaper in the past. That's what Emmanuel Ogbah was. Like, they've made the trade for the former first-round pick, been injured, hasn't lived up to expectation, expiring contract. They've never, in my opinion, overpaid for that player. I think they paid appropriate value. I don't think that the Eagles gave appropriate value for Jalen Phillips. I'm actually really surprised that he ended up going for a 3rd-round pick. He's not that guy to me. He has 3 sacks this season. I mean, he's fine. He's a nice rotational piece, but I'm not trading a 3rd-round pick in the middle of the season for an expiring nice rotational piece at defensive end. And I'm not even sure if he's that. Like right now, Rob, he has 3 sacks this season. What would you set the over-under on a sacks for Jalen Phillips for now the rest of the season? What do you set it at? 5.5?
5.5 more or 5.5?
No, 5.5 total. So right now he's at 3.
Probably 5.5, 6, somewhere in there. Probably 6. Does he have the exact same second half? Probably the number.
Yeah. Would you have been happy if they had traded a 3rd-round pick for a guy that got 2.5 sacks the next 9 weeks of the season? Because I would not have been super excited about that. And I would have said, why couldn't you get that from Mike Dana? Why couldn't you get those 2.5 sacks from Charles Omenihu? They got guys that I think can give you Jalen Phillips production. Now, if Calais Campbell had been traded, again, we'd be having a different conversation. If Calais Campbell was available and changed teams, and I'm sure that people called about Calais Campbell, because I don't know why you wouldn't trade. I don't know why you wouldn't make a phone call for Calais Campbell. He is on a 1-year deal. He plays for the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals are not going anywhere. He has 5 sacks this season. I'm sure people made a call about Calais Campbell. He didn't change teams. He's staying where he is. He's 39 years old. Maybe he doesn't want to play in the cold anymore. Hey, I love playing in Arizona. We play in the NFC West. It's warm. I don't know why Calais Campbell is still on the Arizona Cardinals. But if those moves were out there that we could compare and we could say, man, I wish the Chiefs had done X, then I'd be having a different conversation. But I'm actually happy that the Chiefs did this. Here, we'll play this, Rob. You got it, actually? Here, let's play this. This is the report from the Jets.
And Jermaine Johnson came back. With Breece Hall, there was an offer on the table for a fourth-round pick from Breece Hall. I was told that it was from the Kansas City Chiefs that were willing to trade for Breece Hall. The Jets were steadfast in wanting a third. So they wanted a third-round pick for Breece Hall. They were not able to get one, only had a fourth-round offer. Jermaine Johnson, they had a second-round pick, wasn't something they were particularly interested in.
I think that's the right decision. I think the Chiefs steadfast. We're not giving you a top 100 pick for Breece Hall. We're not giving you a top 100 pick. We'll give you a top 125 pick for Breece Hall, but we're not giving you the 91st overall pick for a running back that is a rental for us. That's not what we do. We pay fourth-round picks or worse for a rental. That's what DeAndre Hopkins was last year. We all knew that he was a rental. He was on the team for half a season. They were willing to pay $4 million or a fourth-round pick. Or they'll pick somebody up off waivers if that's the case. So I understand people wanted Breece Hall. I have no reason not to trust this reporting. I do believe the Chiefs called around. I think they inquired. I think every team in the NFL inquires. I think you found out the price was too high. We've all done that before. How many times have you walked into a store, you were interested in something, you picked it up, you saw how much it cost, you set it back down, and you moved on with your life? Happens all the time when you go to the store. That's what the Chiefs did with Breece Hall. They were interested. They were rolling through Home Goods. They saw him on the shelf. They picked it up. They saw the price tag. And no, I don't want it.
They haggled too. So, I mean, according to that report, they said, hey, I know it costs X. Can we get it at a different price, like a garage sale? And the person said, no, you can't do that. It's like, I love your analogy. Trading someone is like being on Facebook Marketplace. Hey, you have a couch. I'm selling it for $100. I'll give you 80. If they don't want to sell you the couch, you're not getting a couch, but you at least try to haggle. The Chiefs just didn't get the job done.
Yeah, and I mean, you set a price on how much you think that's worth. We've all done that before. Somebody wants X for their tickets. You're willing to pay them this for their tickets. If they're not willing to sell it to you at X, hey, good luck finding somebody who is willing to pay what you want. And as the seller, you're allowed to say, yes, I will sell my goods to you at this price, or no, keep it moving. I'm going to go out and find a buyer. Now the Jets have kept Breece Hall, and we'll see if that ends up being the right decision. Do they keep Breece Hall next season, or is Breece Hall going to go off in free agency, and we're going to think, man, you should have just taken the fourth-round pick? I mean, that's definitely happened to people before. You thought something was worth a little bit more than what it's worth. You've seen the market play itself out, and you realize, man, I probably should have took that initial offer. That was the best offer that I potentially was going to get. So I'm not upset that they didn't get Breece Hall. If you believe that report, and again, I believe it, we don't think he's worth the top 100 pick. I don't think Breece Hall is worth the top 100 pick, not if you're not going to keep him for next season. But hey, we're willing to give you a fourth-round pick, whatever. You can always get back a fourth-round pick. Getting a third-round pick or higher, a little harder to get back. You can get a fourth-round pick by just being willing to trade back in the draft. Like, that happens all the time if you just want to get a fourth-round pick back. So, yeah, hey, we put in an offer. You guys weren't interested. Hey, it's up to you. Go see what you can do. The Jets made a decision that they were going to hold firm. I mean, the Jets very easily, what they could have done is, we want a 3. They shopped it around the league. Obviously, nobody was willing to give you a 3. All right, hey, I'll take your fourth-round pick. I mean, that happens all the time when things are getting sold. All right, hey, you offered me this. Here, I'll do the deal. Let's do the deal. Doesn't sound like that happened with Breece Hall. I don't think that that's the wrong decision. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison. Watch the show on YouTube by subscribing to the 965 YouTube channel. The Drive, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. 96.5, The Fan.
eBay has reinvented vehicle buying. From click to curb, everything's covered. Ever try to buy a car online and end up in a parking lot with a stranger and some blind trust? That era is over. Now with Secure Purchase, eBay isn't just where you find your car. It's where you buy it, start to finish. Title, financing, registration, delivery, it's all built in. This is the modern way to buy your next ride on eBay. eBay. Things people love. Secure Purchase is powered by Caramel Dealer Services, LLC, an eBay subsidiary.
Hey folks, I've got a couple of important questions for you. Do you know how much money you need to retire?
Do you have a plan in place for your loved ones? If your answer is no, it's time to get your financial planning on track with UMB Private Wealth. It's never too late to start. Plus, their team supports you at every step of the planning process. Go to umb.com/private wealth to schedule your appointment. That's umb.com/private wealth. Why not start today?
I'm worth more.
I'm worth more.
I'm worth a lot more. And I completely agree. That's why I'll pay more for your car at GiveMeTheVin.com. That's the name of our new campaign. I'm worth more. You are worth more, and your car's worth more. And that's why I will pay more. And remember, if I don't beat the price on a CarMax or a Carvana deal, I'll pay you $100 at GiveMeTheVin.com.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
DQ presents the sound of your next meal at DQ. It's the sound of savoring a signature stack burger, loving a chicken strip basket, or digging into everyday value with the $7 meal deal. Wait, where is the sound? Am I missing something? Oh, it's quiet because they're too busy enjoying their DQ food. Makes sense. So delicious and so peaceful. Grab your favorite from the DQ food menu today at participating U.S. locations. Only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
Gear? Check. Snacks? Check. Tires? Not so much. I didn't have time to deal with this, so I asked my friend. Her answer was simple. Take it to Telly, she said, and I'm so glad I did. They didn't just take care of my tires, they took care of me. We got you, they said, and they did. Fast, friendly, and stress-free. Now I know when life throws you a red card, take it to Telly. Stay in the game. Take it to Telly.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Nobody had to tell your grandparents not to drive while using their typewriters. Why should it be any different for us kids and our cell phones? Distracted driving was the cause of more than 3,000 deaths in 2022. Come on, we're smarter than this. Let's put down the phones and focus on the roads. Drive safe, everybody.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-583-5795.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-583-5795. That's 800-583-5795.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Chiefs coverage sponsored by Park & Go. Your holiday travel made easy with all covered airport parking.
Heading out of town for the holidays? Make travel easy with Park & Go. Enjoy all covered parking, free shuttles, and luggage help that'll have you feeling merry and bright. Reserve your spot now at bookparkandgo.com. Happy holidays from Park & Go.
Car wreck? Get the money you deserve. Mike's got this.
Paid for, client portrayal, and endorsement. Choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
After my car wreck, there was a lot I didn't know.
I do know. If you've been hurt in a car wreck, call me. I've got this.
Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This one brought to you by DM Injury Law, still working the crash Independence 435 northbound, just before Front. It is the right lane blocked. Olathe, that's a two-car crash off to the left shoulder. Some onlooker delay, 35 southbound at 119th. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
The only place in town to hear the hypothetical button game is on The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
This is I understand this argument. People have this argument. I get it. I philosophically disagree with you and possibly Brett Veach's view of draft picks. Draft picks are lottery tickets. You don't exactly know what that is. FAU was a first-round pick and former Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year. He may legit never be a start for an NFL team. Picks are not guaranteed players. 100%. I don't think anyone disagrees with that. I'm with you. But I think it is important to note that you only get a limited amount of assets. And at the deadline, there are no long-term solutions to be had. You know when there are long-term solutions to be had? The long-term solutions are to be had with draft picks, using them in the draft. That's the best possible value that you can get a player is in the first 4 or 5 years of their contract. You are giving up that opportunity every single time you trade a draft pick. Now, you can obviously get draft picks back and you could trade them. And I'm not saying never trade draft picks. I'm not saying you got to use all of your draft picks, but you got to be smart. I'm not just giving them away. How do you find Travis Kelce? You're not trading for Travis Kelce at the deadline. You need the pick to go get him. How do you get Chris Jones? How do you find these players? There's a group of players that will never be available in their prime. They're only available if you draft them. So that's why the draft picks are important. If you need to move up in the NFL draft to go get something, if you need to move up in the draft because you really like Trent McDuffie and on draft day you need the assets, you got to have the draft picks to go get them. You can't trade cap space. So I think it's important to note. So I'm not saying that there's one way to do it, right? It's a combination of all of these things. Nobody's saying you got to overpay for every free agent. Nobody's saying you got to trade all your draft picks. You don't got to use them. You got to have a balance. I'm certainly not in the business of just giving draft picks away. And also, would you rather, and you're only looking at it through the possibility if you miss. Well, what if you get it right? You can get it right, can't you? Sure, the Chiefs missed on Sky Moore. They also used that same asset to go get Rashee Rice. You're not getting Rashee Rice in free agency. You're getting them through the draft. So that's why the draft picks are important. So I'm just not in the business of giving them away. And to me, trading for Jalen Phillips in a third-round pick, in my opinion, is giving the pick away. That's giving the pick away. That's also playing a lottery ticket. This is a guy who hasn't been healthy, has no postseason experience, and now we're willing to roll the dice that he can help us. That's also a lottery ticket, in my opinion. All right, Rob. I feel like this time has turned into Carrington's house adventure. You know that I am in the process of trying to buy my first home. So I have kind of settled in on what I want, and I'm in the process of kind of getting together so we can put like a serious offer down. I don't know why I continue to look. And Rob, let me tell you, I saw this place. It was magical. And then I saw how much it cost. And it was so disheartening. I called up my guy. I was like, hey, can we run these numbers real quick? We were running the numbers, like if I can make it work. And then he said to me something very, very important. This is actually Danon. You know, Danon does home loans. So I was texting him about it. I showed him like, hey, how much will my mortgage be every month? And he said something very important. He said, you don't want to be house poor. I was like, what?
Oh, you just learned the term house poor.
I had heard people say it before, but then when he was explaining it to me, I was like, oh, yeah. No, it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. My friend Shannon, she's been helping me too. She's the president at a bank. She's been helping me too. I'm trying to figure this out, Rob. This is a big step in my life. I'm getting very, very close. I can't wait to take that corny picture of holding that key,
giant
that fake
key. Yeah, it's gonna be
great. That's part of the experience. Is the one Instagram picture.
I may let you down here with the term house poor. I should have let you know that house poor is definitely a thing. Because you could have a great house, but if you are spending every dollar of your life on your house, you don't have a great life. You don't have much going on. If you were like, hey, man, I can't go to West anymore because I have a condo, what's your quality of life?
My friend Shannon literally said, she was like, Carrington, you love going to Vegas. I don't know if you can if you buy this. I'm like, okay, hold on now. You're going to take the Bellagio fountains away from me? Don't do that. Why'd you threaten me like this? What's going on here? You know I enjoy a nice little weekend, little go down there. The last time I went, they took every dollar from me. It was like they had it out for me. I don't know why they did that. I didn't hit a nothing. I didn't hit a blackjack, a craps, a roulette. I didn't hit a touchdown parlay. I didn't hit a nothing while I was out there. I was cursed while I was out there. Was really cursed. I didn't have enough to give the midnight ballerinas. I was struggling. I was like, hey, I got to get you on the next trip here. I don't got it. I'm a little strapped for cash right now. That's today's house adventure. I am going to go look at that one I can't afford, though. I just got to at least go look.
Don't do that to yourself.
I got to go see it. Come on now. I can't go look. I can't take a tour.
You're going to walk out and want it more, and you're going to talk to yourself.
But then the thing is, I'm going to regret not going to look at it. I got to look at it. Come on now. It looks amazing. When I thought of moving out and I had a vision of a place, this was the vision I had. And then I saw how much it cost. All right, I'm out of here. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. It's The Drive.